Chapter 782. Clang. Tion broke out of the gourd. With a thought, an ancient bell appeared above his head. Once the ancient bell appeared, a supreme pressure naturally spread in all directions. It was as if a terrifying god had appeared in an instant. The pressure of a connate spiritual treasure caused the surrounding void to faintly solidify. The concept of reincarnation contained within the ancient bell made it seem as if it wanted to devour heaven and earth. The ancient bell shook, and a loud bell chime instantly sounded. Bang! With the ancient bell as the center, the void within 100 jong radius collapsed and was completely annihilated. At the same time, the heaven's reincarnation bell flew into the air. The mouth of the bell rose, and the inside of the bell turned pitch black. It twisted and spun strangely, turning into a strange vortex. It was like a bottomless pit. It enveloped the calamity gore that had been destroyed by Tian's divine light of annihilation. With a whoosh, the calamity gourd was swallowed by the ancient bell. Although the calamity gourd was a supreme demonic treasure, Tian had destroyed it and severely injured on the spot. The heaven's reincarnation bell was a mid-grade connate spiritual treasure. Its attack was as fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, the gourd was swept into the ancient bell. You dare to take this prince's demonic treasure? Unparalleled calamity, doomsday storm, break the ancient bell. This unforeseen event happened abnormally fast. When the dragon demon crown prince woke up from the fact that Tian had broken out of the gourd, he saw his calamity gourd being swept into the heaven's reincarnation bell. He was immediately enraged. With a roar, he communicated with the gourd mentally and urged it to spit out endless calamity. It's already too late. Today, not only will I take your demonic treasure, I will also take your life. I will take it as well. I will use your head as a wine cup. Tian glanced at the dragon demon crown prince indifferently. His gaze was as if he was looking at a dead man. Reincarnation of the heavens. Return to the origin and merge with the heavens. The bell of samsara began to revolve violently. It shook violently and produced a chime filled with the concept of samsara. The power of samsara completely erupted from the bell, rushing into the calamity gourd and beginning to erase the dragon demon crown prince's soul brand. Clang, clang, clang. 9 consecutive sounds rang out as the power of reincarnation washed over the calamity gourd. The power of time within the bell began to circulate. The time within the bell passed at a terrifying speed. In the blink of an eye, thousands of years had passed. Almost instantly, the calamity gourd that had been sucked into the ancient clock seemed to have gone through countless reincarnations. The dragon devil crown prince only felt a terrifying pain coming from his soul, and an indescribable anger surfaced in his heart. He could clearly feel that his soul imprint in the calamity gourd had completely disappeared and had been refined. Kill! The dragon demon crown prince swung the dragon demon god devourer halberd at Tian. On the halberd, 9 demonic dragons instantly roared, revealing their malevolent demonic bodies. They erupted with astonishing destructive power, and the void distorted crazily. At the same time, they roared and charged at Tian, wanting to tear him to pieces. The dragon demon, thrown beneath him, instantly broke through the air, transforming into a vast throne that was 3,000 feet tall. Countless demonic heads danced around it, and faintly, there were countless demonic gods singing, praying, and submitting before the throne. With a domineering aura, it domineeringly crashed towards Tian. This crown prince will smash you to death. The corner of his mouth revealed a cruel sneer. Once the shackles of heaven and earth in the land of exile were released, the strength of all the experts would be multiplied by 10 times. This demonic dragon throne was an extremely powerful treasure, refined from the bones of countless demon gods. With a supreme demonic might, this collision was like a collision between heaven and earth. A vast amount of pressure came crashing down on Lin Fan. Tisk, interesting. It seems that this demon emperor really has a lot of enemies. Even the dragon demon crown prince of Modu wants to kill him. This throne is a bit interesting. I'm afraid there's a demon refining ancient formation inside. This collision, even an old man like me won't be able to withstand and will be blown apart. The boy of many treasures let out a strange cry. Sitting on the immortal crane, he watched the fierce battle around him with interest. That gourd just now is obviously a supreme demonic treasure. It was actually broken open by the demon emperor on the spot. No wonder heaven and earth want to kill him. He really has a terrifying battle strength that defies the heavens. The aura emitted by that bell is a natural spiritual treasure. There's actually the power of reincarnation in the bell. It's too terrifying. He can even control reincarnation. Is the demon clan really going to rise? The demon emperor is full of treasures. He'll be rich if we kill him. Witnessing what happened in an instant, the experts around were in an uproar. They looked at Di Shirtion with a complicated and strange gaze. Clang! With a simple chime, a lifelike picture suddenly appeared on the surface of the crystal-like ancient bell. Strangely, an illusory gourd vine appeared on the bell, and a black gourd hung on the vine. The gourd swayed freely with a strange charm. Countless disasters could be vaguely seen brewing in the gourd. The calamity gourd had completely merged with the bell of heaven's reincarnation. Bang! In the valley, Ming's dragon body flew fiercely. The divine dragon swung its tail and lashed at the sacred lotus of purification, blasting it away. Then, he turned into a beam of bloodlight and returned to the nether prison. Seeing the changes on the ancient bell, he couldn't help but cry out excitedly. The bell of heaven's reincarnation is really amazing. It can take away other supreme treasures and return them to their origin. Then, it can merge with the ancient bell and increase its power. TSK, is this the wonderful power of space-time, seal life, reincarnation, and many other powers fused together? The bell of heaven's reincarnation could refine everything for its own use. It could increase the infinite power of the ancient bell. You want to kill me? Then I'll kill you first. Sakura felt a majestic pressure crushing towards him. Raising his head, he instantly saw a demonic dragon and that terrifying halberd pouncing towards him. Even the mountain-like dragon demon king throne was crushing over, wanting to smash him to death. Killing intent surged in his heart, but his face was still cold. Fight! 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 Killing intent and fighting intent intertwined. He had reached the ancient heavenly demon realm this time to establish his power. He wanted to be completely domineering and intimidate the whole world. So what if it was the dragon demon crown prince? An emperor couldn't be humiliated. If he was humiliated, he would die. Today, not only would he kill, but he would kill cleanly and domineeringly. He would kill until the world trembled. Boom, boom, boom. The seed of heaven's reincarnation burst out with brilliant reincarnation light. The entire ancient bell expanded at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, it became a 3,000-foot-long ancient bell. A picture of a gourd vine appeared on the bell, with a mysterious black gourd hanging on it. In the divine light emitted by the bell, there was a strange prayer echoing. Heavens, myriad worlds, the cycle of reincarnation, all things vanish. The strange heavenly melody of reincarnation echoed. Bang! Di Shirtion stepped into the void and stood on the ancient bell. He was like an ancient emperor controlling the ancient bell, directly colliding with the 9 demonic dragons. Roar! The 9 ferocious demonic dragons were hit by the ancient bell. With a loud boom, a terrifying power completely erupted. The 9 demonic dragons collapsed on the spot, smashing into countless fragments. When it collided with the dragon demon god devourer halberd, the domineering force directly broke the halberd apart in a single blow. It directly charged towards the dragon demon king throne with boundless demonic might. Rumble! This collision was like a comet colliding with a meteorite. The huge ancient bell and the dragon demon monarch throne violently collided in the void. The surrounding void collapsed on the spot and completely shattered, erupting with chaotic and destructive power. Everything within a radius of 10,000 feet was completely destroyed. Countless storms swept over. The surroundings were transformed into the most terrifying world of chaos. However, Sakura stood on the celestial samsara bell, and the calamity gourd in the picture on the bell suddenly glowed with divine light. He opened the lid of the gourd and sucked in the surroundings. Countless calamities were instantly swallowed by the gourd and hung on the gourd vines again, swaying with the wind. Dragon Demon Crown Prince, I will beat you down to the mortal realm today. Di-Shirtion controlled the ancient bell and crashed into the dragon demon monarch throne again. Rumble. Crack. Compared to the bell of heaven's reincarnation, the throne's quality was inferior. The successive collisions caused the throne to emit a terrifying sound, and a ferocious crack appeared clearly. Heavenly Punishment Divine Eye. Heavenly Punishment. Di-Shirtion's divine eye opened again and shot out a beam of heavenly punishment divine light, directly sweeping towards the dragon demon crown prince. Once heavenly punishment appeared, no matter how noble or powerful you were, you would still fall into the mortal realm. Heavenly Punishment Divine Light? Impossible. Are you from the Heavenly Punishment Clan? No, you can't be from the Heavenly Punishment Clan. Limitless Demon World. Block the divine light for this prince. The moment the Dragon Demon Crown Prince saw the Heavenly Punishment Divine Light, his eyes revealed a look of horror. Without even thinking, his body flashed, and a pitch-black inner world instantly enveloped him. Protecting the inner world, he wanted to dodge the mighty power of the Heavenly Punishment Divine Light. Break! The purple-gold Heavenly Punishment Divine Light, carrying the judgment of heaven and earth, instantly swept across. The Dragon Demon Crown Prince was really too close to Di-Shirtion. In almost the blink of an eye, the resplendent Heavenly Punishment Divine Light immediately swept over. It landed on the limitless demon world, which emitted an extremely strong repulsive force. It wanted to block the Heavenly Punishment Divine Light outside the inner world. Clang! A resplendent golden saber light instantly descended, slashing onto the limitless demon world. Crack! Within the tiger soul, the supreme power of 3,000 gods and demons appeared. The power of this slash could simply split the heavens and earth apart. The demon world that was originally blocking the Heavenly Punishment Divine Light was split open on the spot. No! Boundless devil chi burst out from the Dragon Demon Crown Prince's body, and defensive demon treasures quickly appeared one after another. However, the Heavenly Punishment Divine Light was like an illusion, instantly shuttling through all the demon treasures, directly brushing against his body. A mournful scream rang out. Die! Di-Shirtion's entire body broke through the air, rushing into the inner world, and stepped towards the Dragon Demon Crown Prince's head. He wanted to stomp him to death, stomp him to death. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com and read more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 783. Extreme Emperor Heaven Battling Steps. One step, mountains and rivers collapse. Di-Shirtion's demonic flames soared to the heavens. At this moment, the Heavenly Punishment Divine Light swept down, instantly pushing the Dragon Devil Crown Prince down a realm, from the Sky Demon Intermediate Stage to the Early Stage. Tiger's soul opened up a path and broke through the infinite demon world. Then, he stomped down on Meng Chao's head. This stomp was something he had deduced for nearly 900 years, fused with 8 desolation steps and many other footwear techniques. It was something he had deduced after all sorts of concepts were completely condensed together. The ultimate Emperor Heaven Warring Steps. Under his left foot, a beautiful picture of thousands of miles of mountains and rivers faintly appeared. It looked incomparably fantastical, like a fairyland. However, this picture instantly collapsed, and the mountains and rivers inside collapsed at the same time. The terrifying power of the mountains and rivers poured down. Bang! You deserve to die. Origin Dragon Devil Lightning. Explode for this crown prince. The dragon devil crown prince's eyes were scarlet red, and his devil hair danced wildly. He sat upright on the dragon devil throne, and the cracks on the throne were still clearly visible. He saw Di Shirtion stepping towards him, and in his hand, a palm-sized dragon-shaped devil lightning suddenly smashed towards Di Shirtion. It collided with the descending left foot, and the devil lightning exploded. Countless dragon-shaped lightning energy instantly exploded, distorting the entire void. He had actually managed to block the extreme Emperor Heaven battling steps. Another star destruction step. His right foot once again stepped out. This time, a picture of billions of stars appeared under his foot, as if the entire ancient star space had really appeared under his foot. Countless stars were constantly annihilated, and the terrifying power of the stars erupted, almost causing the void under his foot to completely collapse. It was as if the entire star space was completely annihilated, and the power that erupted from the annihilation was truly earth-shattering. The dragon devil crown prince only felt that a terrifying star space was crushing towards him. No, dragon demon throne, my mortal body, dragon demon god, devouring halberd, demon dragon slaying the heavens. On the dragon demon throne, a Dharma idol with the body of a demon god, a huge black dragon head on its neck, and terrifying dragon claws covered with fine dragon scales appeared. As soon as this Dharma idol appeared, it immediately emitted a vast dragon's might. The demon god's aura swept through the void. The two closed dragon eyes suddenly opened. The left eye opened, and a demon moon appeared, while the right eye opened, and a terrifying sun appeared. Lunar divine light. The divine light of the sun. Two beams of light, one of extreme yin and the other of extreme yang, shot out from the celestial fiend's eyes and swept towards Di Shirtion, intending to completely pierce through him. Clang! The bell of heaven's samsara appeared above his head and shone with divine light. As the ancient bell shook, clear and ancient bell chimes could be heard one after another. Countless strange sound waves were emitted, and the void was distorted. He stood in front of the two divine lights. The mighty power of the stars of annihilation under his feet stomped on the halberd. The tyrannical mighty power forcibly shattered the halberd on the spot. This stomp seemed to have condensed the mighty power contained in the first stomp. Its power was more than 10 times stronger than the first stomp. An ancient heavenly demon could cause a 10,000 zhang tall mountain to collapse with a casual stomp. Bang! After blasting the halberd away, the third stomp was launched. Third stomp sun-moon revolution. At the same time, the image of the sun and moon appeared under his feet. The terrifying power of the sun and moon intertwined and instantly stomped down. Rumble. The void under his feet began to be completely annihilated on the spot. It collapsed and shattered inch by inch. Endless destructive power swept towards the dragon demon crown prince once again. The demon god protecting the dragon demon throne was crushed inch by the foot. It was destroyed on the spot by the tyrannical mighty power. This crown prince is the crown prince of the dragon demon palace. My status is noble. How can I die in your hands? Demon eye of annihilation, eye of annihilation. The dragon demon crown prince's eyes were filled with madness. The mysterious demon mark between his brows instantly blossomed with resplendent demon light, and a terrifying aura spread out. Kacha! The surrounding void couldn't help but crack open. It was incomparably clear like a crack on glass. The void strangely froze, as if it was a solid piece of glass. The cracks on it rapidly spread at a speed visible to the naked eye. Whoosh! The demon mark flickered and quickly opened to the sides. A pitch-black, ice-cold demon eye with the will to annihilate the world constantly opened. It only opened a little, but the terrifying power of annihilation poured out. The surrounding void was quickly filled with countless sinister and terrifying cracks at a speed visible to the naked eye. Bang! Large expanses of the void strangely collapsed and were completely annihilated. Even everything in the void was reduced to dust in an instant. Not even a trace of it was left behind. Dawn. However, In an instant, an ancient bell from the void crashed into the dragon demon crown prince's head at an astonishing speed. With a bang, the entire head was smashed like a huge watermelon, instantly bursting open. A large amount of flesh and blood shot out in all directions. Undying demon body. A furious roar rang out. The flesh and blood that had been shattered flew back from the void under a supreme will. The smashed head was actually about to grow back again. However, at this moment, a foot stomped down. Countless mountains, rivers, suns, moons, and stars appeared under his foot. 4 trampling, 8 desolation break. Bang! A vast power instantly stepped on the dragon demon crown prince's body. On the spot, the head that grew back was once again smashed into pieces. You want to scheme against I? I'll trample you to death. 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, respectively stepping on the arm, the chest, and even the lower body. The dragon demon crown prince's entire body collapsed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Die together with this prince, destroy jade and common stone. The dragon demon crown prince had an undying demon body. Even if it was crushed, his body would quickly gather and grow back. Suddenly, his demon body expanded at a speed visible to the naked eye. The destructive power of the demon god crazily gushed out from his body. Rumble. His entire body expanded to the limit in an instant and suddenly exploded. He used his final move, self-detonation, to drag Shirtion down with him. Dragon Demon Crown Prince. The 7 fiends Demon Sovereign and the secluded Spring Holy Maiden exclaimed at the same time. Everything happened so quickly that even they couldn't react in time. They saw the Dragon Demon Crown Prince being forced to use self-detonation to destroy Jade and Common Stone together with his opponent. Kill. The 7 fiends Demon Sovereign didn't hesitate. He moved his body and was about to rush toward Shirtion. However, the moment he moved, a pitch-black dagger silently swept toward his neck. Slit throat. Ding! The dagger was sharp, but the 7 fiends Demon Venerable's body was tough and powerful. The sudden attack only left a small cut on his neck. Traces of demon blood seeped out, and the curse on the dagger entered his body through the wound. Emperor Assassin. The baleful aura in the 7 fiends Demon Sovereign's eyes seemed to be about to burst out. Light flashed in his hand, and a 3-pointed double-edged blade, exuding boundless baleful aura, slashed toward the left. Crack! On the secluded Spring Holy Maiden's side, a blood-red battle blade appeared and slashed out with cold, killing intent. Self-detonation. If you hadn't done this before I became an ancient heavenly demon, and before this world removed the restrictions on magic power and abilities, I might have been seriously injured by this move of yours. But now, it's just a small trick in front of me. Reincarnation of the heavens. Shirtion calmly looked at the Dragon Demon Crown Prince's self-detonation. With a boom, boundless destructive power of the demon god madly burst out, instantly enveloping the entire void within a radius of 1,000 miles. Forming a terrifying pitch-black domain. It wanted to devour everything that was in this place. However, the bell of heaven's samsara above Shirtion's head began to spin. The mouth of the bell became incomparably deep, and as it spun, it turned into a strange hole. A strange concept of samsara emanated from it, causing the surrounding void to distort and form a terrifying vortex. In the vortex, there seemed to be countless worlds being born in the cycle of reincarnation. The violent power of the demon god in the surroundings was instantly sucked into the vortex as soon as it entered the range. The bell of heaven's samsara was like a bottomless pit, continuously devouring the vast destructive power like a tide. If anyone could see at this moment, they would discover that a heaven's small world had appeared in the bell of heaven's samsara. It was originally empty, but in the blink of an eye, vast amounts of demon god power gushed in endlessly. It filled the entire small world, and in the blink of an eye, it immediately became a demon domain. The meaning of heaven's samsara within the bell of heaven's samsara was the meaning of countless heaven's worlds contained within the bell. It should be known that the bell gathered the power of the world, the power of life, the power of sealing, the power of reincarnation, and so on. All kinds of mystical powers caused this natal spiritual treasure to be able to create many small worlds within the bell as long as it continued to evolve, containing countless spatial faults. The treasure of heaven and earth within the bell. The sound of the bell froze the void. The power of reincarnation devoured the vast amount of demon god power. After being cleansed by the power of reincarnation, it poured into a small world derived from the bell, turning it into a strange demon domain. It was filled with endless demon god power and boundless essence. In a situation where one could use their cultivation abhijna, the power of the natal spiritual treasure was completely unleashed. Although the destructive power of the self-detonation caused the surrounding void to be annihilated, it was unable to harm Di Shurtian at all. Standing proudly in this demon domain, he was like an ancient emperor, looking down on all eternity, trying to cross the sea by deceiving the heavens and secretly sneaking around. In front of I, you're simply displaying your sleight skill before an expert. Today, I said that I'll kill you, so don't even think of getting away with it. Soul assimilating divine light. Let I absorb your demon soul. Di Shurtian laughed coldly. A brilliant divine light shot out from the divine eye. Divine eye of punishment. Soul assimilating divine light. It swept toward a remote corner. Di Shurtian, do you really want to kill me? You'll regret it. My royal father will definitely avenge me. You're dead for sure. As long as I die, my royal father will immediately know. At that time, even if you have the ability to reach the heavens, you'll still be beaten into the 9 underworlds. Don't think that you'll be fine in the source world. Let me tell you, my demonic dragon palace, even in the source world, still has hidden chess pieces. If you kill me, you're dead for sure. The soul assimilating divine light was simply the nemesis of all kinds of divine souls in the world. Under the illumination of the divine light, the demonic dragon crown prince, who was about to quickly escape, instantly revealed his demon soul. Bound by the divine light, he was forcibly pulled into the divine eye, wanting to completely suppress and obliterate him. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 784. If I say I'm going to kill you, then I'm going to kill you. No matter how powerful your father is, or how many hidden pawns you have, I'll kill one if one comes. If 2 come, I'll slaughter both. In the past, I was weak, but now that I've become an ancient heavenly demon, I'll kill anyone who dares to provoke me other than the strongest. Even the heavens won't be able to save you. Di Shurtian's heart was cold to the end. Back then, he had risen from nothing. Every step he took was like walking on the edge of a cliff. He had been obstructed by experts time and time again. He had buried those memories deep in his heart, never forgetting them. However, he didn't do anything because he knew very well that even if he was a demon emperor, he was just an ant that could be killed with a finger in the eyes of those experts. Therefore, he had to accumulate strength. He had to raise his strength at all costs. It was only after entering the exiled lands that he was able to truly soar. He had been unstoppable all the way until he became an ancient demon saint. Then, he had just broken through to the ancient heavenly demon realm and cultivated the immortal body. His battle strength couldn't be measured by someone who had just stepped into the heavenly demon realm. It was comparable to an ancient heavenly demon late stage, or even a peak heavenly demon. Such battle strength had given him the qualifications to truly enter the chessboard of heaven and earth. Afraid? Did he need to be afraid now? So what if he was an ancient powerhouse? If anyone dares to provoke me, I'll beat them into a dog. The invisible shackles that bound his hands and feet were completely released the moment he became an ancient heavenly demon. First, he would be a grandson, then an ancestor. He had been a grandson before, and now he wanted to be an ancestor. With a thought, the soul assimilating divine light didn't stop. It directly sucked the dragon demon crown prince's soul into the nether prison and suppressed it under the karma mirror. Dark, you're most familiar with all kinds of torture methods. Pry open his mouth, Farai. Interrogate him about his demonic arts and the situation of the demon god continent. I don't want to know the process. I only want the result. After the interrogation, throw him into the Saint Spirit altar. The demon god soul is the best candidate for the Saint Spirit. Tion suppressed the dragon demon crown prince's soul and entrusted the task to Dark. Don't worry. I'll treat him well. Dark said with a strange voice, rubbing his palms together. Extreme Emperor Creation Palm. Xing, he's circlet. With a wave of his hand, Tion absorbed all of the Dragon Devil Prince's demonic treasures into his hand and instantly sent them into his inner world. It was sealed again. Clang. The bell of heaven's samsara shook as a crisp and ancient bell chime reverberated in the air. Waves of sound waves spread out in all directions like a tide. The sound waves exuded a will that could suppress the heavens. Wherever the sound waves passed, the rampaging chi rapidly calmed down at a speed visible to the naked eye. The Dragon Devil Crown Prince, the Dragon Devil Crown Prince who possessed boundless power in the Devil City, had actually been blown apart before he could even cover his ears. This fact simply caused those who witnessed it to be overwhelmed with shock and fear. Tion extended his hand into the air, and the essence chi left behind by the Dragon Devil Crown Prince's self-destruction quickly condensed into a head. That head was a pitch-black dragon head. He grabbed the dragon head and lifted it up. With a flash of light, the wine god's gourd appeared in his hand. He opened the gourd and poured the wine into the dragon head. The dark green bloodshed amber wine was poured directly into the head. In the blink of an eye, a full jar was filled. With a wave of his hand, the wine god's gourd rushed into the bell of heaven's samsara and instantly fused with the ancient bell. In the blink of an eye, on the picture of the bell, a dark green gourd appeared on the illusory gourd vine. It hung on the vine and swayed with the wind. It appeared lifelike. Gulp. He raised his head and drank the wine in the head in one gulp. Satisfying. Tion only felt that his body and mind were at ease. He casually tossed the head and looked around. Hiss. The many experts who had originally gathered in the surroundings only felt an invisible pressure crushing over in front of them. Their hearts tightened and their feet involuntarily took a step back. They looked at the head that was thrown into the air in shock. With a snap of his fingers, he killed a person in 10 steps. He raised his hand and took the head, drinking in the jar. Tion's tyrannical, heaven-defying battle strength had already been proven by a sky demon middle-stage dragon devil crown prince at this moment. He truly had heaven-defying battle strength. They originally wanted to obtain the reward of killing the demon emperor, but now it was as if a jar of ice water had been poured over their hearts. Their hearts were filled with fear. Who would dare to take half a step forward? Holy Maiden, let's go back to the demonic capital. The 7 fiends' demon sovereign's pupils contracted. A light flashed in his hand, and a jet-black jade talisman appeared. The 3-pointed, double-edged blade forced the assassin emperor away and appeared beside the dark spring Holy Maiden. He crushed the jade talisman, and a pitch-black demonic gate appeared in front of him. At the same time, he entered the demonic gate and disappeared. Demon Emperor, you must die. All that was left was a sentence that sounded like a curse that kept echoing in the air. Clang! A golden saber light instantly slashed the demonic gate, destroying it on the spot. However, the 7 fiends' demon sovereign and the others were not left behind. Consider yourself lucky that you left quickly. The 7 fiends' demon sovereign's decisiveness caused killing intent to flash through Tion's heart. However, now is not the time to care about this. He swept his gaze across the surroundings. Schwescher was fighting fiercely with the bronze giant, Lei Bao, in the Blood Sea. The 4 legions had transformed into the 4 godly beasts and were fighting fiercely with the 10,000 Bones Dragon King, Star River Swordmaster, Firefox Emperor, and Arrow Emperor. The four legions used the battle formation to condense the true forms of the four divine beasts that were not inferior to the ancient overlords. Their battle strength was extremely tyrannical. However, in terms of consciousness and the use of power, they were not as strong as the four overlords. In the battle, they were clearly at a disadvantage. For legions, listen to my order. Retreat. D-Shirtyan's expression turned cold. It was as if there was a staircase under his feet. He stepped on the void as if he was walking on flat ground. His right hand slapped towards the myriad bone dragon king that was fighting with the Azure Dragon Legion. Rumble. In the void, the vast power of the void gathered rapidly from all directions, condensing into a giant purple-gold hand that blotted out the sky. The purple-gold hand faintly contained countless voids, evolving all kinds of calamities, containing endless power of the void. Extreme Emperor Creation Palm, Infinite Void. Under the Infinite Void Palm, the void energy evolved into a myriad of calamities and erupted with the power of void calamities. Gods and Buddhas that stood in their way would be killed. Demon Emperor, this is just a misunderstanding. I just want to learn from your subordinates. I have no intention to be your enemy. I will retreat now. We will mind our own business in the future. When a myriad bone dragon king saw the purple gold hand condensed in the void, the soul flame in its eyes flickered violently. It felt as if the hand was connected to the entire void. The entire void was emitting a vast pressure that wanted to crush it. Even the myriad bone dragon king felt a kind of fear from that pressure. It quickly cried out, "Imperial Dragon, Overlord Fist." However, he waved his dragon claw and instantly blasted out a punch. As the punch blasted out, 10,000 bone dragons formed and frantically bombarded the purple gold hand that was pressing down from the void. The 10,000 bone dragons danced wildly, wanting to destroy the entire void hand with one punch. Within the fist, the void was violently vibrating and twisting. Boundless dominance was completely revealed in the fist intent. He wanted to show his strength to D-Shirtyan. He wanted to let him know that he should not underestimate him. If they really fought, he might not have a good time. Peace was the best thing to do. The 10,000 bone dragons ferociously bombarded the purple gold hand. Humph! Sakura snorted coldly, and a myriad tribulation void hand instantly dropped down. Rumble! The moment it fell, the entire void seemed to be crushed down. Even the sky seemed to be sinking down. The boundless pressure instantly erupted with endless void power. When the palm hit the bone dragons, the void power circulated and the bone dragons were sucked into the purple gold hand. Countless void power condensed into blades and crushed the bone dragons inch by inch. Bang! The purple gold hand contained the supreme will of the void. In the void, countless calamities were brewing. When D-Shirtyan used it with his ancient heavenly demon cultivation, it was a terrifying force that could destroy a world with one palm. Those tens of thousands of bone dragons were simply like bubbles, collapsing one after another under the great void hand. The palm directly hit the myriad bone dragon king. Rumble! The surrounding void instantly collapsed and turned into countless destructive void power. Under the palm, countless dense cracks appeared on the dragon bones of the myriad bone dragon king. It was hideous and terrifying. He had actually shattered the incomparably tough bone dragon's body with a single palm strike. Bang! Without giving him any chance to react, a large foot stomped down on the spot. Fifth stomp, shattering heaven and earth. The heavens under the foot were constantly being destroyed, erupting with a terrifying force that could shatter heaven and earth. Crack! With this stomp, the entire body of the myriad bones dragon king was smashed into pieces on the spot. However, the fragments of the dragon's body were quickly gathering together at a speed visible to the naked eye. The myriad bone dragon king was an expert who had cultivated the immortal body. How could he be killed so easily? Bell of Heaven's reincarnation seal. The ancient bell instantly enlarged. The mouth of the bell wrapped around the myriad bone dragon king and sucked him into the ancient bell. He was sent into a small world within the bell. The sealing power surged and suppressed him within the bell. Rumble. However, at the same time, the entire ancient bell trembled violently. It instantly suppressed an ancient giant. The impact from a myriad bone dragon king caused the ancient bell to vibrate. Faint rumbles could be heard. Go, the demon king is too ferocious. Let's join forces and suppress him. Otherwise, we are all doomed. With his heaven-defying combat strength, we will all die if we go alone. The Firefox Emperor's eyes flashed with fear as he shouted wildly. Behind him, the three huge red fox tails danced violently, emitting a terrifying raging fire that swept towards Di-Shirtion. That's right. We only have a chance if we join forces. We have no way out. Sword Venerable Xing, he said solemnly. Kill. The Arrow Emperor spat out coldly. He quickly drew the war bow in his hand. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. I support the author, and I support the original readers. Chapter 785. Sakura's demonic flames filled the sky and were simply unstoppable. Not only did he kill the Dragon Devil Crown Prince in one fell swoop, he even shattered the Myriad Bones Dragon King with a flip of his hand and suppressed him within the Bell of Heaven's reincarnation. His ferocious might was like a torrential flood. Awe-inspiring aura was not gained through shouting, but through fighting and killing. At this moment, even a frown or a glance from him was enough to cause the hearts of the surrounding experts to tremble. The strength of his aura had reached a pinnacle, and his heaven-defying supreme battle prowess was thoroughly displayed. At this moment, the Star River Sword Master and the other two primordial immortal emperors joined forces. They resisted the oncoming monstrous, demonic flames. The Beast Tribe was a race created by the savage beasts during the Desolate Era using their own bloodlines. They were slaves to the savage beasts. When the savage beasts were hungry, they were the food in their mouths. Later on, the Demon Tribe and hundreds of other tribes in the Purple Gold Continent rose up and engaged in a life-and-death battle with the savage beasts. The Beast Tribe took the opportunity to rebel against the savage beasts and become an independent tribe. However, the savage beast bloodline in their bodies made them naturally aggressive. Moreover, their wild nature was difficult to tame. The strength of their bloodline gave them extremely powerful battle prowess. They could often inherit some of the abijnas of their own bloodline. They were extremely powerful. The Firefox Emperor in front of him had the bloodline of the king of savage beasts, the Purple Flasher Fox. When the Purple Flasher Fox matured, it would grow 6 tails, and each tail contained a shocking amount of Flasher Heavenly Fire. This Flasher Heavenly Fire was not much different from the grandson, Primordial Fire. It could incinerate everything, including Yuan Qi, metal, rocks, flesh, and blood. Anything that came into contact with the Flasher Heavenly Fire would be incinerated to ashes. Even the most ancient of giants wouldn't dare to touch them. Because the Fox Emperor wasn't a savage beast, he only had the bloodline of a savage beast. Although he was an ancient powerhouse, he only had 3 dazzling purple tails. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Facing Sakura's overbearing power, the Firefox Emperor didn't hesitate at all. The 3 purple tails behind him instantly glowed with purple flames and expanded violently. In the blink of an eye, they became 3,000 feet long. Swaying with the wind, the purple tails swept towards Sakura with terrifying flames. In the blink of an eye, the entire void was covered in flames. Xinghe's sword technique. Qi Rush Xinghe. The Xinghe sword sovereign waved the ancient sword in his hand. The moment he attacked, he unleashed one of the killing moves of the Xinghe sword technique. With a wave of the ancient sword, the void was destroyed as a vast river formed by the convergence of countless constellations appeared, directly gushing towards Di-Shirtion. Within the river, there were countless constellations. Everywhere the sword passed, the void would be destroyed. It was like a Xinghe rolling over. Even gods and devils would fall under the influence of Xing He. Four Seasons Reincarnation Arrow. On the battle bow in the Arrow Emperor's hand, a crystalline feather was used as an arrow. An inexplicable power was injected into the arrow, and the surrounding yuan qi of heaven and earth gathered like a tide. With a whoosh, the feather left the bowstring, and suddenly there were four types of power that were continuously reincarnating. All sorts of illusions appeared around the arrow. For a moment, it was like spring wind and rain. The sun shone brightly, the birds chirped, the flowers bloomed, and the rivers thawed. All things were rejuvenated. It exuded vitality. For a moment, it was like the scorching sun in summer, with thunderstorms and torrential rain. The mountains and rivers were on the verge of being destroyed. After a while, it was like the autumn wind was bleak. Fallen leaves fluttered in the wind, and frost filled the horizon. Fallen leaves fluttered in the wind, and the sun set in the west. Thousands of trees withered. The final scene was the winter plum blossoms in full bloom. The cold wind was bone-chilling, and white snow fluttered in the wind. It was a scene of boundless heaven and earth. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. At this moment, the cycle of the four seasons appeared before everyone's eyes. The cycle of the four seasons represented the spring and autumn. The spring and autumn represented the cycle of time. The power of the four seasons gave birth to the power of time. This was the four seasons reincarnation arrow, which was also the arrow of time. With one arrow, time would flow and send you into reincarnation. Those who were hit by the arrow would instantly be corroded by time and turned into dust. This was one of the Wing tribe's most powerful techniques. Killer moves, dazzling heavenly fire, Qi Rush Xing He, Four Seasons Reincarnation Arrow. The three killer moves attacked Di Shirtian at almost the same time, sealing off all the escape routes in the void. There was no room for escape. This attack existed to kill him. In an instant, the light of the arrow, Xing He, and dazzling heavenly fire filled the entire sky. Even the void could not withstand this terrifying, killing power. In an extreme distortion, it collapsed, and countless black holes appeared. The entire sky shook violently, as if it was going to be destroyed. Extreme Royal Emperor's Seal, Tao Tai Seal. Extreme Royal Emperor's Seal, Monarch Seal. Extreme Royal Emperor's Seal, Demonic Seal. Extreme Royal Emperor's Seal, Nirvana Seal. For seals suppressed the heavens, suppressing all directions. Di Shirtian's heart moved. In the 11th rank Black Lotus in the demon abode, the four lotus seeds vibrated continuously, bursting with divine power. Following the seals, they quickly condensed into four ancient seals. The Tao Tai Seal. The image of a Tao Tai appeared in the seal. The Tao Ye's body was vast and boundless, and its head was extremely ferocious. It opened its mouth wide and was about to swallow. A huge vortex formed in the seal. The Tao Tai fed on everything in the world. It could swallow almost anything. In the end, it could even swallow the heavens and the earth. It faced the dazzling heavenly fire. In an instant, the Tao Tai seal exploded with shocking power. The supreme devouring wolf forcefully swallowed the dazzling heavenly fire. It blocked the purple tail of the dazzling heavenly fire and collided violently. The demonic god seal. In the ancient seal, the vast power of the demonic god gathered, condensing the ancient seal into something substantial. 3,000 demonic gods guarded the ancient seal, like 3,000 great Taoists, suppressing the ancient times. The vast power of the demonic god could simply smash the heavens and the earth into dust. The ancient seal instantly grew to 1,000 feet long, and ancient mysterious runes appeared on it. It communicated with the heavens and the earth. This seal smashed towards the mighty Xing He that was charging towards it. The Paradise Seal. Inside, countless devout believers were praying. It was as if they saw the most sacred God in their hearts. The place they were in was the boundless paradise. There was no suffering. It was the supreme land of paradise. Countless prayers rang out. giving people the illusion that they were going to throw themselves into the prayers and betray their faith. With this seal, you will be sent to paradise. This seal smashed towards the terrifying Four Seasons reincarnation arrow. The Emperor's seal turned into a jade seal, and Di grabbed it with one hand. Wearing the Emperor's robe and holding the Emperor's jade seal, his power was boundless. Rumble. These four ancient seals contained a supreme will, and when they were executed by the Sakra, their might was so strong that it was simply incomparable to before. Under the Tautai seal, the dazzling heavenly fire was swallowed up continuously. It was like a hot knife through butter, and it smashed into the purple tail of the dazzling heavenly fire. It let out a terrifying roar. The Firefox Emperor was sent flying 1,000 feet away, and blood spurted from his mouth. The ancient seal crumbled on the spot. The godly demon's seal suppressed the void. When it smashed down, the Xinghe collapsed, and countless stars were destroyed. The domineering godly demon seal, supported by the 3,000 godly demons, was almost unstoppable. It destroyed the Xinghe, and it collided violently with the Xinghe Swordmaster. The Xinghe Swordmaster was struck by lightning, and he retreated rapidly. On the other hand, the Paradise Seal was in a stalemate with the Four Seasons reincarnation arrow. The power of paradise and the power of time clashed, and the void was shattered. The ancient seal and arrow were destroyed at the same time. Bang! 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 Di held the Emperor's jade seal in his hand, and he stepped on the void as if he was walking on flat ground. He had an unusual calmness, and with a flip of his hand, not only did he break through the joint attack of the three ancient giants, but he also gained the upper hand. He walked casually towards the three experts. The bell of heaven's reincarnation above his head shone with the light of reincarnation. The formless power instantly suppressed the entire heaven and earth. It was as if even breathing had become abnormally difficult. Firefox Emperor. Suddenly, Di spat out a cold sentence from his mouth. Kill. The Firefox Emperor did not even wipe away the blood at the corner of his mouth. His face revealed a ferocious expression. As an expert who had survived the exiled lands, he had never lacked the will to fight. Even Di monstrous power could not break the resolve in his heart. He roared and was about to attack again. However, the moment he agreed, the gourd painting on the bell of heaven's samsara seemed to come alive. A vivid painting appeared in front of his eyes. An illusory gourd vine grew tenaciously. On the vine, there were two lifelike gourds, one black and one jade green, hanging from it. It looked very mystical. At this moment, the pitch-black gourd detached from the vine and opened its lid. A terrifying suction force was emitted from the gourd, and in an instant, the Firefox Emperor was bound and sucked into the gourd. Smack! The gourd quickly closed, and a small gourd grew out and hung back on the vine. It looked as small and cute as ever, and even swayed a few times in the wind. It had a natural charm. Hiss! This scene fell into the eyes of many experts. It was as if they had seen the most terrifying thing in the world. That gourd was the demonic treasure that the Dragon Demon Crown Prince had used to suck Di into. This demonic treasure could fuse with the Bell of Heaven's reincarnation and use the same supreme power. How miraculous was that ancient bell? Connate spiritual treasure. Could this be the power of a connate spiritual treasure? Another one of the three ancient giants had been sucked in and suppressed in an instant. Even the ancient giants had to bow their heads in submission with just a wave of his hand. Countless demons saw this, and the fanaticism in their eyes became even more intense and devout. Waves of faith poured into Di Shurtian's body continuously. Run! The surviving honorable swordsman Xinghe and the Arrow Emperor looked at each other and saw the same look in each other's eyes. Without thinking, the Arrow Emperor's wings flapped violently, and 3,000 feathers broke out of his body and turned into 3,000 terrifying arrows. The war bow in his hand became huge, and the war bow was pulled into a full moon shape. 3,000 arrows pierced through the air with astonishing power. Ultimate archery skill, star, arrow formation. One arrow to kill gods. After shooting an arrow, the arrow emperor flapped his wings and turned into a dazzling ray of light that pierced through the air towards the southeast. The honorable swordsman Xing, he was even more ruthless. His body flashed, and he took the opportunity to turn into 3,000 stars that broke through the air in all directions. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chijian.com to read more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 786. At the moment when Honorable Sword Xing, he split his body into the stars. Trying to escape, Dishurtian snorted coldly and threw the imperial seal in his hand into the air. The imperial seal grew in the wind, and in the blink of an eye, it expanded to 3,000 feet. In the ancient seal, an ancient emperor stood upright and exuded supreme majesty. It smashed towards the stars that were about to disperse. Rumble. Void space collapsed under this seal. Thousands of stars were crushed into dust by this seal. However, the Star River Swordmaster lived up to his name. The stars that he split into did not fly in the same direction. Instead, they flew in all directions. Their speed was so fast that they resembled falling stars. Even though the seal smashed many stars, there were still thousands of stars that escaped strangely. The Arrow Emperor used an unknown ability and disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. Experts who could cultivate to the level of immortal overlords had immortal bodies or immortal primordial spirits. They were extremely difficult to kill. If they really wanted to escape, given their strength, it was almost impossible for them to truly die. It was extremely difficult to stop them, unless they encountered a heaven-defying existence that they couldn't contend against. Honorable Sword Xing, he and the Arrow Emperor did not care about their reputation and turned to escape. They escaped very quickly. In their hearts, they were even more certain now. What a joke. If we don't escape, are we waiting for death? The Demon Emperor's battle strength after breaking free from the shackles of heaven and earth is too heaven-defying. He can even destroy the killing move that we launched together. This battle strength is completely above us. Reputation. How much is reputation worth? It's fine as long as we can stay alive. Look at the fate of the 10,000 Bones Dragon King and the Firefox Emperor. They were either crushed or suppressed. Where there is life, there is hope. Two ancient giants actually escaped from Shurtian. This scene, in the eyes of others, almost made their eyeballs fall out. Dan Wang. When Sakura saw the two experts fleeing in different directions, he knew that the current situation wasn't suitable for him to chase after them. He coldly snorted and retracted his gaze. Looking at the Pill Emperor who was standing on a mountain peak, he calmly spat out 2 words. The Pill Sovereign's expression changed slightly. He shut his mouth tightly and glanced at the picture of the gourd vine on the ancient bell above his head. He didn't even reply. He directly cast a silent spell on his mouth, turned around, and fled madly toward the city of exiles. He didn't even retrieve the Saint Lotus of purification that was in midair. She took to her heels and ran. The eyes of the surrounding experts nearly popped out of their sockets. No one could have imagined that Dan Huang, who had enjoyed a great reputation in the land of exile, possessed boundless wealth, and had practically monopolized the entire medicinal pill market, would actually flee without a fight. Moreover, he fled in such a straightforward manner, and he fled in such a carefree manner. Many people were so shocked by this scene that they couldn't even close their mouths. Whoosh! The saintly lotus of purification turned into a stream of light and was about to flee into the distance. He followed Dan Huang. You want to leave? Leave it for I. When Dishurtian saw Dan Huang turn around and flee, he couldn't help but shake his head in disdain. However, even if Dan Huang had escaped, the saintly lotus of purification would not be able to escape with him. He stretched out his hand, extreme Emperor Creation Palm, stealing the sky and sun. He grabbed this saintly lotus of purification in his hand. Boom! When the saintly lotus was caught, the entire lotus body suddenly shook. A primordial spirit brand instantly broke out of the lotus and escaped with lightning speed. It was Dan Huang who had decisively released the primordial spirit brand in the saintly lotus. Cherishing his life, he really cherished his life more than an ordinary person. It turned out that Dan Huang was really afraid of death. 1,000-year-old tortoise, a 10,000-year-old turtle. The longer one lived, the more one feared death. The alchemy emperor had relied on his alchemy skills and the excellent conditions of his inner world to monopolize the entire alchemy market. Over the countless years he had spent in the exiled land, he had plundered countless treasures and collected countless treasures. If he claimed to be the second richest person in the exiled land, no one would dare to claim to be the first. However, the more good things he had, the more he feared death. There were so many good treasures that he couldn't enjoy them all. If he really died, how could he bear to do so? His guts were even smaller than a mouse's. In his bones, he was a classic example of bullying the weak and fearing the strong. Now that he saw Di Shitian's unparalleled ferocity, he could even kill an ancient giant without hesitation. He suppressed him without hesitation. He was so scared that his little heart was beating wildly. When he heard Di Shitian shout, he didn't even think about it and ran away. What a joke. His life was more important. Puff. Sitting on the back of the red-crowned crane, Treasure Boy spat out the spirit wine that he had poured into his throat. His small face was red and he coughed violently. He was quite shocked by this. Dan Huang is really a person who cherishes his life. The Grim Reaper curled his lips in disdain and sneered. Dan Huang is really carefree when he runs away. He's a role model for our generation. A skinny cultivator with a wretched expression and a filthy expression looked in the direction that the pill's sovereign had fled in with eyes full of admiration as he spoke with great emotion. A wise man submits to circumstances. The demon emperor is now full of demonic flames. Anyone who tries to stop him will die. Running away is the best choice. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. The cultivators discussed animatedly. Explode. At this moment, the sea of blood on the other side also changed. Amidst a shrill roar, the sea of blood suddenly exploded, stirring up countless terrifying waves. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In an instant, countless cracks appeared in the sea of blood. Droplets of bronze-colored essence blood shot out from the sea of blood and quickly scattered in all directions. Reincarnation of the heavens, seal the blood essence. Reincarnation cleanse, fuse into the ancient bell. When Di Shitian saw this, he did not even think about it. He stretched out his hand and pointed at the heaven's reincarnation bell. In an instant, the ancient bell flew out quickly. The divine reincarnation light swept across like a black hole, sucking in a large amount of blood essence that splashed out into the ancient bell. In the blink of an eye, more than 3,000 drops of blood essence were sucked into the ancient bell. In the bell, waves of reincarnation force began to cleanse the blood essence. Boom! The blood sea disappeared. Ancestor, dressed in a red robe and full of cold, killing intent, walked out of the blood sea. He came in front of Di Shitian and said in a deep voice, "Your Majesty, Lei Bao has been defeated by Ancestor. However, he is not completely dead. A lot of his blood essence still escaped. I'm afraid that he will condense his body and be reborn again. However, even if he is reborn, his strength will be severely damaged and he will not be able to recover in a short time." Ancestor's words made many cultivators' faces change dramatically. Ancestor was a fierce god in the banished land. He was a killing god who had climbed out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Chase. Di Shitian nodded slightly and said softly, "Your Majesty's order." Ancestor's body trembled. A cruel and bloodthirsty smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He knew that this word was a must-kill order. Ancestor turned around and looked around. He immediately chased in a direction. This time, he would not rest until he completely killed Lei Bao. This scene made many cultivators tremble in fear. They were secretly glad that they did not act rashly just now. Otherwise, they might not even be able to keep their lives. Haha, exciting, really exciting. It seems that this old man did not make a mistake in coming out this time. I can actually witness such an exciting battle with my own eyes. The demonic demon king displayed his invincible power. Treasure of many treasures congratulated the demonic demon king for ascending to the ancient heavenly demon realm. His strength is incredible, and he can break this cage anytime. How enviable! Treasure of many treasures, boy sat on the back of the red-crowned crane and said with a smile, "Very good." The Grim Reaper also nodded and said, "You're welcome." Tion nodded casually. He did not intend to offend these experts who did not make a move. He did not intend to kill all the way to the banished land. He was not Mad Tiger. There was no reason for him to kill all of them. Congratulations. As soon as they spoke, the eyes of many cultivators who were surrounding them lit up. There was an endless supply of good things in the demonic demon king's Sky Pillar City. If they could form a relationship with him, they might be able to obtain great benefits. In an instant, all of them began to congratulate him with smiles. Congratulations came one after another. In an instant, it was very lively. In 3 months, I will hold a celebration in Sky Pillar City and open the city gates. If anyone wants to come, I will welcome them. As for today, I have just broken through. I will go into seclusion to stabilize my realm. See you in 3 months. Tion gestured to the crowd and nodded. Suddenly, with a clang, the golden tiger soul was unsheathed. The green pearl on the tiger soul had completely transformed from its original jade-green color to a blood-red color. Vaguely, vast power gathered in the blood pearl, and it was on the verge of transforming. Crack! After the tiger soul was unsheathed, Tion casually slashed at the void. The sharpness of the tiger soul was completely unleashed in an instant. A clear crack appeared in the void. In the crack, countless terrifying spatial fragments flickered continuously. Its eyes turned to play chess. Indra said indifferently. Unexpectedly, the tiger soul in his hand directly flew out of his hand and rushed into the crack that was created by the slash. Almost in the blink of an eye, the tiger soul was wrapped in a resplendent golden divine light and instantly broke through the air. It directly broke through the void of the land of exile and escaped the cage, rushing into the origin world. In the void, there was still a faint trace of a tiger's roar that shook heaven and earth. All soldiers, return to the city. With this order, the soldiers of the Myriad Demon City immediately responded and rushed back to Sky Pillar City with a joyous atmosphere. TSK, the benefits are too great. The benefits we obtain this time are too great. On the way back, Dark couldn't help but shout excitedly. You actually reached the ancient heavenly demon realm in one go. This time, it's all thanks to the contribution of the Witch of Myriad Wonders. TSK. If it wasn't for her primordial Een, the power of creation wouldn't have been formed, and it would be difficult to condense the undying body. Who knows, we might even be suppressed by these cultivators. We wouldn't be as impressive as we are now. The Witch of Myriad Wonders was really a good witch. He had contributed quite a lot. He had even contributed everything he had. She was really a good citizen, a very good citizen. The banished land is indeed a place for me to soar. To me, it's an endless throne. Tion nodded without hiding anything. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 787. Relying on the characteristics of the banished land, Indra was like a fish back in the water, like a tiger in the forest. Along the way, his strength had increased with an irresistible force. Only he could absorb and refine the innate Yuan Qi in the banished land. Such a cultivation environment was more abundant than the ancient times. Successive encounters had led to a huge accumulation. With the assistance of Nether, the accumulation of various cultivation techniques he had obtained since ancient times, and the comprehension of countless cultivation techniques he had obtained from Nether Prison, his innate talent, and the demon goddess of myriad wonders, a heavenly demon deity, as his cauldron, as well as various fortuitous encounters, he eventually became an ancient heavenly demon. The moment Di Shurtian stepped into the heavenly demon level, he felt as if the entire world had changed. Looking down, he could clearly see the various kinds of yuan energy in the world. All sorts of natural laws were intertwined, creating a multicolored scene. Every plant and tree exuded vigorous vitality and tenacious growth. The entire world seemed to have become unusually vivid. He felt as if he could control heaven and earth with a single thought. His every movement seemed to contain the supreme truths of heaven and earth. His gaze seemed to carry the supreme might of heaven and earth, capable of killing people. Standing in one place, he felt as if the world around him was under his control. Within this range, anyone would feel an invisible pressure. He felt as if heaven and earth existed, and he was the only one left. He could vaguely sense the essence of heaven and earth. He could sense the will of heaven and earth. Come, 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 become one with me. We will become one. After the Tao unification, this world will be under our control. You will be the supreme God of this world. Come, what are you waiting for? Tao unification, Tao unification. In the void, the resonance of the heavens and earth reverberated unceasingly in the mind of Indra. A bizarre will entered his body, and a voice was constantly urging him to fuse with the will of the heavens and earth. His primordial spirit rested in the void and fused with the heavens and earth. He wanted to become the supreme God of this land of exile, the supreme ruler, the one and only God. If I entrust my nascent soul to the void, will I still be me? If I am assimilated by the will of heaven and earth, enslaved by heaven and earth, and my consciousness collapsing, how can I be tempted by you? I am who I am, and in everything, I would rather take things straight than twist them. You can't bewitch I won't be fooled. Di Shurtian snorted coldly. His mind was as firm as ever, and he didn't waver in the slightest. His willpower was extremely firm. Power, I want it, but I will rely on myself to obtain it, instead of relying on external forces. Whoosh! The formless will of heaven and earth seemed to know that it could not deceive Di Shurtian. Just like how it appeared, it disappeared without a trace. The surroundings were still as calm as ever. On the other hand, Di Shurtian felt as if his mental state had taken a huge step forward in an instant. Dark nodded in relief, as if he knew what he had just experienced. Lunatic D, you just sent Tiger's soul out of the land of exile. Could it be that you have other plans? With your current battle strength, although you have only just stepped into the ancient heaven demon realm, you have the battle strength of a peak ancient heaven demon. It will not be difficult for you to break through the barrier of the land of exile. Dark was curious and doubtful about Di Shurtian's last move. However, he instinctively sensed that there was a hint of a trap. Tiger Soul has already reached the peak of a low-grade, Earth-rank demon weapon. Green Pearl has already absorbed enough energy to evolve to a mid-grade, Earth-rank demon weapon. It can start evolving at any time. When the time comes, it will cause a huge commotion. Di Shurtian smiled meaningfully. Dark blinked, and his eyes gradually brightened. Could it be that you want to use Tiger Soul's evolution as an opportunity to lead to a massacre? Didn't the myriad worlds guess that I have already fallen? Then I will turn their guesses into reality. If they want to plot against my demon city, I can't just ignore them. Didn't they want to find the demon city? All right, I will choose the battlefield for them. Di Shurtian said with a faint smile. He quickly traveled through the void and returned to Sky Pillar City. Demons, listen up. The Demon Emperor's decree. Build the Martial Proclamation Palace. 3 months later, there will be a grand banquet. After returning to Sky Pillar City, Di Shurtian only briefly met the King of Nightmares, Mengshi. After settling down the Peacock Goddess, who was still in a deep sleep, he turned and entered the meditation room. A purple pillar fell from the sky, and the vast power of creation poured into his body continuously. In the world, the restraints of the rules appeared again, restricting the use of dermic powers and divine powers. Shurtian's heavenly demon tribulation had officially ended, and the heavens had given him a reward. Shurtian took the opportunity to enter seclusion. At the same time, in an inexplicable void in the myriad worlds, a crack suddenly appeared. From the crack, a golden stream of light suddenly broke through the air. It entered the endless void. At this moment, in the endless void, a large number of cultivators entered this dangerous place. They did not care about the countless terrifying dangers and disasters that existed in the endless void. They wandered in groups in the void, scanning the surroundings with their divine perception from time to time, as if they were looking for something. Obviously, because of the Demon Suppression Alliance's actions against the Thousand Demon City, countless cultivators heard the news and directly moved. The Demon Suppression Alliance issued an announcement. Anyone who finds traces of the Thousand Demon City will be rewarded with 1,000,000 heavenly essence pills. Because of this announcement, countless people who wanted to try their luck entered the endless void. Those who were weak died directly. There were probably no less than thousands of people who died because of disasters every day. At this moment, in the countless space fragments, a silver-white ship was shuttling through the endless void. The ship was divided into 5 levels, and it was about 1,000 feet long. There were countless ancient patterns on it, and it faintly revealed a ferocious aura that suppressed the void. In the void, many meteorites crashed toward the ship. However, the moment they collided, they were immediately blasted into dust by the lightning that burst out from the ship. They were annihilated fiercely, domineering, ferocious, and incomparably fierce. A group of young men and women stood on the ship. They looked proud, heroic, and fearless. "Senior Brother Dan, we have been searching in the endless void for a whole month, but we can't even find a shadow of the Thousand Demon City. Could it be that the Thousand Demon City has left the endless void and is hiding somewhere else? Otherwise, with the magic of our dark aerial warship, it's impossible that we can't find the trace of the Demon City." There were a total of 6 youths on the ship. One of them was a handsome young man wearing a golden silk brocade robe. He stood at the very front and naturally gave off a steady aura. This young man was called Danshinzi. Beside him was a young lady in green. Her eyes were clearly filled with adoration as she looked at him. She curled her lips and asked, "Impossible. According to the news from the Demon Suppression Alliance, the Thousand Demon City must still be in the endless void. It's just that it's shuttling through the endless void. It's not easy to find it. You should know that the ancient city is the masterpiece of Ancestor Tion Jeezy back then. It's an unparalleled ancient city. It's extraordinary. If it's truly completed, its power will be enough to suppress the heavens. Junior sister Luluo, don't be too anxious." Danshin Z smiled faintly. Every word and action of his carried a unique style. "That's right. Our weapon Cauldron's sect has inherited Ancestor Tion Jeezy's orthodoxy. We must find a Thousand Demon City no matter what. If we can seize the opportunity to chase it back, we can obtain a sect-guarding divine artifact for our sect. There's not much time left before the 100 tribes return." Beside him, a thin and small man with a body like a bamboo pole shook his head and said, Senior Brothers, look, what's that?" At this moment, at a location less than 10,000 feet away from the Kongming fortress ship, a golden ray of light suddenly broke through the air like a bolt of lightning. It rushed straight into the distance. Within that golden ray of light, there was a faint and dignified tiger roar reverberating. Along the way, all of the space-time storms and large amounts of meteorites in front of it were directly rushed through. Even the hardest meteorite would be cut in half in an instant. The golden light didn't slow down and continued to rush forward like lightning. It's a treasure. It's so powerful that it can cut through space. It's so sharp that it can easily cut through meteorites. It's definitely a great treasure. Let's chase after it," Danshin Z said decisively. Suddenly, the warship shook and the entire warship turned around in an instant. It chased after the golden light, rampaging through everything in its way. Any obstacles in front of it were all smashed into pieces. It burst out with extreme speed and chased after it madly. It didn't know how many voids it had passed through in this chase. In an instant, a huge continent appeared in the void. That continent appeared in the boundless void, and it looked incomparably illusory. Numerous divine mountains towered into the sky, and countless fantastical towering ancient trees were distributed everywhere. There were boundless flowers and plants, and there was a scene of birds chirping and the fragrance of flowers everywhere. It looked beautiful, like a peerless paradise. It made people feel a sense of fondness at a glance. However, bubbles would appear from time to time on that continent. They would appear from the void and float in the air, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Those bubbles were colorful. They were also filled with dreamy colors. The golden light instantly rushed toward the continent. Along the way, Shao Chun broke through countless bubbles and appeared before a towering 30,000-meter-tall, divine mountain like a hot knife through butter. Suddenly, a figure appeared. It was a strange golden saber. It was the tiger soul that had broken out from the land of exile. The tiger soul appeared in front of the divine mountain. The saber flashed, and the saber rapidly grew in size at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, it had expanded into a gigantic saber that was several thousand feet long. The saber turned, and like an iron pen, it quickly waved from top to bottom on the divine mountain. It was as if dragons were flying and phoenixes were dancing, and 8 ancient seal characters were drawn in a row. Clang! The tiger soul flew into the air, and the saber turned upside down. With a loud boom, it stabbed straight into the peak of the divine mountain. Roar! Within the tiger's soul blade, tiger roars that were filled with the aura of a supreme emperor soared into the sky. The entire divine mountain was shaking violently. Rumble! On the divine mountain, the 8 ancient seal characters emitted an intimidating aura of nobility and bloodlust. They emitted a bright, golden divine light. Amidst the divine light, the characters were clearly visible. The tiger soul's light, heaven and earth emperor. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 788. It was just 8 words, but they exuded a monstrous aura like that of a peerless emperor. Just one look was enough to make one's mind unsteady. Within the green pearls on the tiger's soul, traces of blood-red light instantly washed over the entire blade. In the surroundings, the vast yuan qi of heaven and earth seemed to be attracted by a huge force and quickly gathered from all directions. It formed a huge yuan qi whirlpool above the tiger's soul. Within the whirlpool, vast yuan qi poured into the tiger's soul like a tide. Roar! Tiger's soul regains light. Emperor of heaven and earth. A voice that sounded like the way of the heavens suddenly spread out in all directions, rapidly spreading across the entire endless void. A black tiger with wings on its back suddenly emerged from the blade of the tiger's soul. It opened its mouth and crazily devoured the endless yuan qi. This black tiger's original form was abnormally illusory and was faintly discernible. Its form was not condensed, but it naturally exuded the aura of an emperor. At this moment, it was continuously devouring the yuan qi of heaven and earth. Its originally illusory form was continuously condensing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Upgrade. The tiger soul was upgrading. From the earth rank lower grade to the middle grade. It should be known that an earth rank divine weapon could nurture a weapon soul. At the earth rank divine weapon, it was only at the initial stage of condensation, and its form was still illusory. However, at the middle grade, it would completely condense into a physical blade soul. The tiger soul was currently at this moment. Rumble. The Kongming fortress ship rampaged and directly appeared at the edge of this strange island that stood in the endless void. It looked toward the island. Quick, look. Could that battle blade, inserted into the sacred mountain, be the treasure that we were chasing just now? Hiss! Even the blade soul has been condensed. Senior Dan, that That could it be an Earth-ranked divine weapon? Luluo's eyes lit up, and her baby face was so shocked that her mouth was wide open. She kept blinking her eyes and stared at the battle blade that was thousands of feet long. Tiger's soul regains light, Emperor of heaven and earth. This. Dan Shen's eyes widened when he saw the 8 ancient seals on the mountain. Don't tell me this is the legendary demon Emperor Di Shi Tian's natal demon weapon, the Earth-ranked demon weapon, Tiger's Soul. Legend has it that the Tiger Soul that the demon emperor carries with him is a peerless weapon that grew together with him. It has endless sharpness and is extremely terrifying. It can easily cut through space and devour the essence and blood of the enemy. It can even devour the soul to increase the power of the demon weapon. It is extremely terrifying. Could it be this one? A young disciple of the Weapon Cauldron sect looked greedily at the tiger soul that was inserted into the sacred mountain. This tiger soul has always been with the demon emperor and never left his side. Now, it actually flew here by itself. Could it be that the demon emperor has really fallen? Earth-ranked divine weapon. This was a peerless weapon that only the ancient giants could possess. If he could get his hands on it, perhaps the saber would contain the demon emperor's peerless martial arts. Supreme saber technique. Another young disciple shouted excitedly, "Charge!" Immediately, a few disciples on the ship soared into the sky and rushed toward the continent without hesitation. Ah, what is this? Oh no! Help! Oh no! Is this the legendary illusory void island? Oh no! The few young disciples who rushed to the island saw colorful bubbles appearing in the sky not long after they entered the island. When the bubbles hit the disciples, they were strangely sucked into the bubbles. When the bubbles burst, the disciples who were sucked into the bubbles were turned into dust silently. A few cultivators who were at least at the immortal Duke realm were annihilated just like that. Illusory Void Island? This is the Illusory Void Island? Dan Shen's pupils shrank violently as he cried out in shock. He looked at the incomparably huge island in front of him in horror. The Illusory Void Island was one of the most dangerous places in the endless void. It was said that this island was formed by the destruction of countless voids and thousands of years of evolution. It existed in the endless void and contained the most terrifying dangers. The entire island was said to be formed by the condensation of countless voids. Every blade of grass and every tree was nurtured by the power of countless voids. Every inch of land contained countless terrifying voids. In Buddhism, there was a saying that there was a world and a flower and a void and a grain of sand. This saying was the best embodiment in the illusory void island. Even a speck of dust contained voids. The soil on the island stretched as far as the eye could see. One could imagine how many worlds and voids this illusory void island contained. There were also countless voids that turned into bubbles and drifted away. They were constantly being created and destroyed, erupting with a terrifying destructive force. Once one was sucked into the voids, even immortal dukes would perish. It was more terrifying than a swamp. Once one fell into it, one would not be able to escape. However, everything on this illusory void island was the best material to refine a space treasure. Unfortunately, one would have to pay the price of one's life to obtain it. Let's go. Return to the weapon tripod, Great World, immediately. This is not something we can solve. Dan Shinzi glanced at the tiger's soul on the godly MT Shumi and decisively retracted his gaze. He hurriedly ordered. Immediately, the Kongming fortress ship turned around. With a shake of its body, it disappeared into the endless void. However, the words Tiger's Soul regains light, Emperor of heaven and earth spread throughout the entire boundless void in an instant. In an instant, countless cultivators rushed towards the illusory void island. 2 flowers blossomed, one on each side. In a land of exile, Di Shi Tian went into seclusion. After receiving the power of creation bestowed by heaven and earth, he turned around and entered his inner world. Inside his inner world, there was a complete change. Hundreds of divine spirits were born, and the vast power of desire was flowing out continuously, filling the void. The Emperor's energy drilled into the ground and became dragon veins. The dragon veins then breathed out innate essence chi, filling the Tian Fa world with dense innate essence chi. With the existence of abundant innate essence chi and the power of desire, the Tian Fa world and the infernal prison, which were originally thousands of feet long, began to expand. This expansion was subtle, but during this period, it had unbelievably expanded to a radius of 3,000 feet. Some flowers, trees, and precious spiritual essences were planted in it. Moreover, there was a large number of demon clan elites in the Tian Fa world, constantly absorbing innate essence chi to cultivate. Di Tian took out the bell of heaven's reincarnation and turned around to enter it. There was a world inside the bell. In this world, there was nothing. Everywhere was nothingness. Sitting in the bell, he adjusted the time to a ratio of 100 to 1. He stayed in seclusion for a full 10 years. In the main hall, an ancient, crystal-like bell was spinning in midair. The surrounding heaven and earth essence chi was constantly being devoured by the ancient bell. Suddenly, there was a flash of light, and Di Tian, dressed in a black imperial robe, came out of the ancient bell and summoned it back to his hand. He held it in his left hand. Looking at the ancient bell, a picture scroll appeared. An illusory gourd vine was growing healthily, with 2 small gourds hanging on it. One of the gourds was the Calamity Gourd, and the other was the God of Wine Gourd. In addition, there were specks of stars twinkling on the bell. I still lack a gourd vine. It seems that I have to find a way to get one. In this case, with the gourd vine, maybe the gourds on the bell can continue to grow. Di Tian thought to himself. The bell of heaven's reincarnation had a magical power to refine all things in the world and merge them into the ancient bell. At this moment, the 2 gourds on the bell had completely merged with the bell of heaven's reincarnation, becoming a part of the ancient bell. Although it was just a picture scroll, its power was absolutely not reduced in the slightest. Moreover, it was even more magical. Lunatic D, your bell has unlimited potential. After merging with the Calamity Gourd, it immediately increased its power greatly and gained another magical attack. Amazing! This bell is really amazing. If you merge with a few more treasures, this bell will probably become an upper-grade natural spiritual treasure. Ming looked at the bell and couldn't help but praise it. Heaven's reincarnation, the giant's blood essence, reincarnation cleansing, return to the origin, merge with the ancient bell. Di Tian's expression was solemn. With a thought, he quickly activated the bell of heaven's reincarnation in his hand. Suddenly, the 1,000 drops of blood essence sealed in a small space in the bell were swept into a ray of reincarnation divine light and swept back and forth in the blood essence. Lei Bao's remnant, will in the blood essence, was swept by the divine light of reincarnation. Under the divine light of reincarnation, the remnant will and imprint would dim a little and shake violently every time it was swept. Finally, after being swept 9 times in a row, the imprint in the blood essence was forcibly wiped out. 1,600 drops of blood essence rushed out of the small space and entered the ancient bell, where they quickly merged with it. Under the fusion of the power of the samsara of the heavens, a second relief scroll suddenly appeared on the body of the ancient bell. In the relief scroll, 1,600 bronze giants, who were thousands of feet tall and gave off a bronze luster, were roaring and galloping in a vast wilderness. Every single one of them gave off an extremely strong sense of wildness and even a strong sense of suppression. They were full of fighting spirit. TSK, that Lei Bao is really a giant. After these 1,600 drops of blood essence fused with the bell of heaven's reincarnation, they actually evolved into 1,600 bronze giants. Every single one of them has the combat power of an ancient demon sage. TSK. As long as the bell of heaven's reincarnation is not destroyed, even if these giants are released and killed, they can be reborn in the ancient bell. They are a bunch of undying giants. Good. This is a great harvest. Looking at the new relief scroll that appeared on the ancient bell, Ming was even more amazed by the mystical power of the ancient bell. It could actually refine all things in the universe and fuse them with the ancient bell, increasing the power of the ancient bell. No wonder it was called the Heaven's Reincarnation. The main event is yet to come. It's time to deal with the Fire Fox Emperor and the Myriad Bone Dragon King. Di Shirtian muttered to himself as he looked at the ancient bell in his hand. His gaze became more and more profound. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 789. The Myriad Bones Dragon King was suppressed in a space within the Bell of Heaven's samsara, while the Firefox Emperor was directly sucked into the Calamity Gourd to suppress these two ancient giants. This prevented the ancient bell from using any other powers, and most of its power was used to suppress the two of them. How to deal with this was the most important question now. Di Shirtian disappeared from the main hall without a sound, and entered the Bell of Heaven's samsara once again. There were many small spaces within the bell. At this moment, in the deepest space of the ancient bell, there was a void all around. In the void, there were pitch-black chains extending from all directions. Each chain seemed to contain the power of the heavens, the power of reincarnation, the power of sealing, and so on. The entire space was sealed off. In this space, there was a giant bone dragon that was 40,000 feet long. Its entire body was covered with ferocious dragon bones. However, every inch of the bone dragon's body was bound by the heavens' samsara chains. Its dragon tail and dragon claws were tightly bound, and it could not move at all. Crash! The bone dragon's body burst forth with a strong immortal power and a vast dragon's might. It struggled violently, and the chains were pulled taut. It wanted to break the chains, but the chains were terrifyingly tough. No matter how tight it was, it did not break. Rays of heaven's samsara light appeared and suppressed the bone dragon. Myriad Bones Dragon King. A crack appeared in the void, and Di Shirtian, who was dressed in a black imperial robe, stepped out. He appeared in front of the bone dragon with an invisible pressure and said calmly, "It's you, Demon Emperor Di Shirtian." The flame of life in the Myriad Bones Dragon King's eyes instantly lit up. He raised his head and looked at Di Shirtian. In his eyes, there was a hint of fear and dread. The Demon Emperor was too ferocious. He had killed several ancient giants in succession and suppressed him in this strange space. The Demon Emperor's heaven-defying combat power made him shudder, and he could smell the scent of death. Demon Emperor, this king knows that it was indeed this king's fault for attacking you before. Now that I have been captured and suppressed by you, as long as you are willing to let me go, I am willing to exchange all my savings for it. The Myriad Bones Dragon King shouted loudly, "Your savings?" Sakura looked at him with a smile that was not a smile. "Yes, I know that you have heaven-defying combat power. The land of exile will definitely not be able to trap you. I was once the Dragon King of the Great Bone World, and I was in charge of the undead army. I had an extraordinary status in the Great Bone World. I was exiled here because I accidentally learned a secret. There is a mystic realm in the Great Bone World. It is said that there is a primordial spiritual treasure of the demonic race. If you let me go, I will tell you everything I know. If you let me go, I will tell you everything I know," the Myriad Bones Dragon King said loudly. There seemed to be a trace of melancholy in his expression. Mystic realm? Primordial spiritual treasure of the demonic race? When Di Shirtian heard this, he raised his eyebrows slightly. After pondering for a moment, he immediately sneered. "As long as I kill you, I can still search your memories in your divine soul. Since you dare to attack, you have only two choices now." "What choices?" The fire in the Myriad Bones Dragon King's eyes flickered. "First, submit to I. From now on, you will submit to me. Second, if you don't submit, you will die." When the last sentence was spoken, A cold, killing intent instantly swept through the entire space. The killing intent, like a cold knife, scraped the Bone Dragon King's body. It made his heart suddenly tighten. In these words, he smelled the breath of death. Humph! The light in the myriad Bones Dragon King's eyes constantly changed. One moment it was ferocious, the next it was calm, as if his heart was constantly struggling. Tion did not urge him. He just stood quietly in the void. After a while, a determined look appeared in his eyes, and he laughed sinisterly. Demon Emperor, don't force me. I, the Thousand Bones Dragon King, am also an ancient giant. I've already given you a lot of face by being willing to give up the treasure to redeem myself. If you really force me into a corner, I'll self-destruct regardless of everything else. I'm afraid that the innate spiritual treasure that you use to seal me will also suffer heavy damage. He exuded an air of arrogance that belonged to an ancient overlord. What were ancient overlords? They were experts who were close to the pinnacle of the world. Even the heavens and earth couldn't easily destroy them. Even peerless experts wouldn't easily humiliate them. Those who could become ancient overlords all had countless fortuitous encounters, countless opportunities, and walked their own paths. From the moment they were born until the very end, their history was like that of a poem. Which one of them did not have arrogance? They did not have a unique temperament and character. How could they recognize themselves and get rid of the temptation of the will of heaven and earth? It was definitely not a simple matter to subdue an ancient giant. Are you threatening I? Tian's lips curled into a cold smile. If you are not convinced, then die. Being suppressed in the bell of heaven's samsara, he still wanted to threaten him. He was simply courting death. The power of the heavens, suppress your dragon body. The bell of heaven's samsara was his natal spiritual treasure. Inside the ancient bell, he was like a supreme god. With a thought, the power of the heavens appeared in an endless stream and pressed down on the myriad Bones Dragon King's body through the chains. Crack! The myriad Bones Dragon King only felt that there was a terrifying force coming from all around the world that was continuously crushing his dragon body. Those incomparably tough dragon bones seemed to be unable to withstand it and let out a terrifying sound. Faintly, the dragon bone spine was being pressed down. I am a dragon king, the noblest race in heaven and earth. I will never submit to you. Within his body, streams of pure dragon essence poured into every single dragon bone in his body. The pitch-black dragon bones emitted a dark divine light, forcibly withstanding the boundless pressure. The power of the seal. Seal your dragon essence. In the chains, a vast power of the seal instantly wrapped around the myriad Bones Dragon King's body, turning into countless strange, sealing divine runes that spread throughout his body. No, even if I die, I will make you pay the price. The myriad Bones Dragon King could feel the power of the seal emerging from the void. He only felt that every time a sealing divine rune appeared on his body, a part of the power in his body was restrained. He immediately let out a furious roar. A terrifying power quickly gathered in his body. However, how could the bell of heaven's samsara allow him to achieve his wish? How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? Heavenly punishment divine eye, soul catcher. The divine eye between his eyebrows instantly opened. Immediately, a purple gold divine light filled with boundless majesty shot out. Within the divine light, countless strange spirit summoning banners continuously appeared. Countless strange spirit summoning banners were emitting strange spirit summoning sounds. With a supreme will, they directly swept towards the myriad Bones Dragon King. How was this possible? The myriad Bones Dragon King let out a cry of horror. Under the illumination of the soul summoning divine light, an unusually condensed dragon-shaped spark of life was forcibly pulled out of his body by a terrifying force. In front of the soul summoning divine light, it struggled like a fish in the sea, unable to shake the mighty power of the divine light at all. It was constantly being pulled into the divine eye. No, an unwilling roar of anger lingered in the void. Crazy Emperor, don't worry. I will treat this guy well. I will make sure he spits out all the secrets he knows. TSK, an ancient giant. I like prisoners like this the most. Ming directly used the karma mirror to suppress the myriad bones Dragon King. His blood-red eyes shone with incomparable excitement. Divine light of samsara cleansed the dragon body. Sakura's current heavenly punishment divine eyes had become even more ferocious and overbearing as his cultivation base increased. As long as there wasn't any supreme treasure that specialized in protecting the divine soul, even the primordial spirit of an ancient giant could still be extracted. It was terrifyingly domineering. In the void, the divine light of samsara instantly covered the dragon body, constantly cleansing the will of the myriad bones Dragon King contained within the dragon body. This process could not be completed in a short time. He turned and left. He probed the calamity gourd with his divine consciousness. In the gourd, wind, fire, lightning, poison, storms, spatial blades, and other disasters were madly evolving and brewing. The Firefox Emperor was constantly being pulled into the abyss of disasters. The Firefox Emperor was indeed powerful. The dazzling purple tail behind him tightly wrapped around his body, constantly sweeping away the disasters and annihilating them. However, it could be seen that there was no inner world in his body. In the gourd, he could not absorb any yuan qi of heaven and earth. If this continued, the power in his body would definitely be exhausted. At that time, the disasters that swarmed over would definitely tear him to pieces and turn him into dust. Firefox Emperor, submit or die. It's your choice. Sakura only glanced at it and calmly left behind sentence. At the same time, there was also a purplish gold century slave seal left in the gourd. This was a choice. If he accepted the century slave seal, the calamity would naturally dissipate. If he didn't, he would only end up being refined into ashes. No one who could become an eternal giant was a fool. After leaving behind his sentence, he naturally left the bell of heaven's reincarnation. He returned to the main hall. With a thought, he waved his hand. Immediately, an ancient jade scroll appeared in front of him. Ancient divine patterns appeared on the jade scroll, intertwining together to form a strange seal. Divine Path Jade Scroll. Ming took a look and said in surprise, "Are you planning to break the other seals in the Jade Scroll?" At a glance, he could see that the Jade Scroll in Di Shirtian's hand was the strange Jade Scroll that he had accidentally obtained in the Purple Gold Mainland. The Jade Scroll contained a strange divine path technique, and it also contained a miraculous technique that combined the immortal path and the divine path. If not for this Jade Scroll, he would not have been able to obtain the materials that were not part of the 5 elements needed to refine the Demon City. He would not have been able to refine the miraculous divine crystal. The information and secret techniques contained in the Jade Scroll were of great help to him. It played an irreplaceable role in his growth. In the Jade Scroll, there were several layers of seals. Breaking the first layer allowed Di Shirtian to obtain the technique to restrain the power of faith. Breaking the second layer allowed him to obtain the secret technique to combine the immortal path and the divine path, which allowed him to refine the exquisite gourd and the divine crystal. As for the remaining ones, he had not had the time to break them. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 790. However, this divine path jade slip had always been one of Di Shirtian's most prized treasures. He had never forgotten about it. The power of incense was extremely mysterious. It was one of the most miraculous powers in the world. It was emitted by all living beings. It was the purest form of power. Back then, the blood demon god had been suppressed by the power of incense. This was just the power of incense. It should be known that a true divine path cultivator could condense the power of incense into his own divine power. Only by using the divine power could he unleash the supreme power that could change the world. That's right. Quickly break the seal and see what other secrets are hidden in this jade slip. If you can get the divine path cultivation method, you might be able to increase your strength again. Ming also urged curiously. In the minds of many cultivators, he knew that after ancient times, the divine path had a great period of glory. Legend had it that the 3 saint emperors who had reached the highest level of the divine path were so strong that they could be compared to the most powerful experts. They were extremely powerful. He was very curious about the cultivation method of the divine path. Break! Tian looked at the jade slip floating in front of him with a serious expression. Between his brows, the divine eye suddenly opened. A dazzling divine light instantly shot out from his eyes and blasted the jade slip. Heaven's punishment, divine eye break. The divine eye was extremely powerful. Back then, he could easily use the stealing sky and sun technique to see through the cultivation methods and secret skills hidden in the jade slips. Now, with the ancient heavenly demon's cultivation, it was like waving his arm and breaking through the seals in the jade slip with irresistible force. There were only 4 seals in the jade slip. Relying on the divine eye, he instantly saw through the information in the jade slip. Suddenly, countless mysterious information quickly entered his mind. The information was unusually huge. Even Tian could not help but slowly close his eyes. His mind spun quickly as he continuously sorted out this unfamiliar information. After a full hour, he finally opened his eyes. There was a strange color in his eyes. The divine Tao is really miraculous. It condenses the faith of all living beings and converges the wish energy from incense. However, cultivating the divine Tao actually requires one to condense a divine position and divine seal before one can temper the wish energy from incense into divine energy that belongs to one's own. This is difficult. Moreover, divine power might conflict with magic power. If they were to fight in the body, it would be a disaster. It's a pity that the method to condense a divine domain and divine seal is incomplete. After Tian thoroughly understood the information in the jade slip, he could not help but shake his head slightly. This jade slip did indeed contain the secrets of the divine Tao. However, this divine Tao jade slip was actually 2 pieces. The one in front of him was only the upper half of the jade slip. It was still missing the most important lower half. The most crucial divine path method was not inside at all. However, it's a good thing that I still managed to gain something. The name of the jade slip was the Sage Emperor God Canon. It was left behind by one of the 3 saint emperors who cultivated the divine path. Although it was only the first half, it still recorded the method to refine a wondrous divine artifact. It was called the Emperor's Divine Robe. It was also called the Sage Emperor Robe. The method used to refine this Emperor God robe was extremely similar to the method used to refine divine crystals. It was actually a method that combined the immortal Tao and the divine Tao into one. Once successfully refined, this Emperor God robe would not only be able to automatically absorb the vast Emperor Purple Chi from the void, but it would also be able to continuously integrate the wish energy that belonged to oneself into the Emperor God robe. Continuous tempering would strengthen the power of the Emperor God robe and form the Emperor God aura. It was extremely wondrous, and its power was quite strong. It could be said that this was a method to use the wish energy from incense. Without the real divine path method in hand, this could be considered a flexible method. Just right, I still lack an Emperor robe. As Tian thought to himself, he had already made up his mind. On the purple gold mainland, as the totem of faith in China, the prayers of the people every day brought him an extremely large amount of wish energy from incense. Although he was not clear about the current situation in China, he could clearly feel that the wish energy from incense was constantly increasing every once in a while. Now that the demon city was completed, there were not many places that needed to use the wish energy from incense. The main focus was still on suppressing the demon god with a crippled blood. The remaining wish energy could not be used. If it was left untouched, it would be a waste. However, the materials used to refine it needed to be carefully considered. After pondering for a moment, a light flashed in his hand, and a snow-white sixth-grade Saint Lotus appeared in front of him. This Saint Lotus of purification is the most precious treasure that cultivators of the divine path dream of. It can hold the wish energy from incense. If used to refine the Emperor God robe, the quality should not be bad. This Saint Lotus of purification was something that even the Saint Emperor used to refine his natal divine weapon. It was definitely not ordinary. Tion immediately chose this treasure. However, after thinking about it, he also took out a jade box and kept the Saint Lotus of purification inside. To refine the Emperor God robe, he needed to use the divine fire in the 7 orifices exquisite pot. He could only put the plan on hold for now. Ultimate Emperor Jade Archive. He took out the Ultimate Emperor Jade Archive. On the crystal clear Jade Archive, Great Tao talismans kept flashing, and the sound of the Great Tao kept emitting from the Jade Archive. More than 600 Great Tao talismans automatically absorbed the surrounding chi of heaven and earth. Tion took out a jade box. In the jade box, thousands of law fragments shone with different colors. These were all the fragments that had been collected in Tianzhu City recently. Infuse the law fragments into the Jade Archive. A large number of fragments quickly flew into the Jade Archive. Immediately, new Great Tao talismans were condensing at a speed visible to the naked eye within the Jade Archive. The original Great Tao talismans in the Jade Archive directly absorbed the same law fragments and completed the talismans. More than 3,000 law fragments. In the blink of an eye, the total number of Great Tao talismans in the Ultimate Emperor Jade Archive reached 1,300. Ultimate Emperor shocking the world. Infuse the Emperor talismans to complete the talismans. Tion's expression was solemn. Without hesitation, he began to infuse the Ultimate Emperor shocking the world with the Emperor talismans in the Jade Archive. At this moment, it was as if a terrifying earthquake had occurred in the myriad worlds. Countless pieces of news spread wildly in all directions, causing the various major worlds to be shaken. Countless all-heavens experts rushed into the endless void like a tide. News after news kept spreading. The tiger soul shines again, and the heavens and earth call at the Emperor. Demon Emperor Tion's personal treasure, the peerless demon weapon, Tiger Soul, has been born. It escaped into the illusory void island and is transforming from the lower Earth class to the middle Earth class. It is a peerless demon weapon that can even destroy the immortal body of an ancient giant. The Demon Emperor has already fallen, leaving behind only his demon soldier. I've heard that the Tiger Soul contains the supreme martial arts that the Demon Emperor created. It's a set of divine abilities and cultivation methods. Whoever obtains, it will be able to proclaim themselves as the Emperor of the world and rule over the entire demon race. He will become the new Emperor of the Demon Clan. It will also allow his cultivation to reach an incredible level. Quick! There's a rumor that the Tiger Soul is a key to the Demon City. Whoever obtains, it will be able to control the entire Demon City and obtain the endless treasures that the Demon Emperor plundered and accumulated. All kinds of news were spreading wildly. There were countless rumors in the myriad worlds. However, the 8 ancient seals that appeared on MT. Shumi, Tiger Soul's light, Emperor of heaven and earth. This directly made countless experts certain that the Tiger Soul contained the secret of the Demon Emperor's ferocious combat power. It was enough to make anyone become an emperor. It could even be a peerless technique that the Demon Emperor created himself. Whether it was the Tiger Soul itself or the Emperor's supreme technique that might exist, both attracted the attention of countless cultivators. For a time, the cultivators of the myriad worlds gathered toward the illusory void island in the endless void. A large number of cultivators entered every day. Vaguely, the entire endless void was oppressive, as if a storm was coming. On the island of Jiuxian, in an important place of the monster-slaying alliance. In the palace, Jushin Wanderer found the 4 stars Holy Maiden. 4 stars Holy Maiden, I wonder if you have divined any important heavenly secrets regarding the birth of the peerless demon weapon, Tiger Soul. Could it be that the demon emperor has really fallen? Jushin Wanderer asked anxiously as he looked at the 4 stars Holy Maiden, who was dressed in a palace robe and exuded a peerless beauty. When the news of the birth of the Tiger Soul spread, it stirred up almost the entire myriad worlds. Even the search for the demon city was cast aside. Senior Jushin, as the prized daughter of the Heavenly Secrets sect, the 4 stars Holy Maiden had been living on the island of Jushin ever since she joined the monster-slaying alliance to divine the heavenly secrets and find the location of the demon city. However, the demon city was made of countless divine crystals and was not part of the 5 elements. Furthermore, it was supported by incense and faith power and constantly traveled through the endless void. It was not an easy task to divine its location. Her eyes seemed to be able to see through everything. She smiled faintly and said, "Whether the demon emperor has fallen or not, Xuanji does not dare to make a conclusion. However, the tiger soul that appeared on the illusory void island is indeed real. The demon emperor's aura remains in the saber. Furthermore, I have divined that the birth of the tiger soul may lead the demon city to descend on the illusory void island." Demon city? Jushin Wanderer was shocked and immediately said, "You've worked so hard. If the monster-slaying alliance gains anything, it will be all thanks to you. I'll go and make the arrangements now. As long as the demon city appears, it will definitely not be able to escape." His entire mind was completely captivated by this sentence. The appearance of the tiger soul could possibly lead the demon city to descend. This alone was enough to make the monster-slaying alliance operate completely. In the endless void, a huge fairy island was drifting casually. Around the fairy island, there were illusory white clouds that clustered together. It was extremely beautiful. In the clouds, an unusually huge island was faintly discernible. There were celestial sounds and smoke lingering on it. Countless exotic flowers and plants bloomed everywhere. Towering ancient trees, ripples on the lake, red-crowned cranes spreading their wings, and white apes running around. The wind blew and the clouds moved. In a blur, it was not inferior to a fairyland. This island appeared in the endless void and was drifting forward at a moderate pace. It was like a scene in an illusion. It was not something that should exist in the human world. The meteorites that came from all directions crashed into the fairy island and were strangely swallowed up. There was not the slightest ripple. It was none other than Ling Long Immortal Island, the most famous island in the universe. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chijian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 791. The climax cannot be finished in one go. It has to come in waves. We have been building this for so long because we want the climax to be endless. Brothers, hold it together. To be honest, I also want to explode. However, as the book goes on, there are more things to consider. I have to fill in the holes in the beginning, but there will still be an explosion. Now, the lines from before are basically starting to connect. The explosion will not be far away. On Ling Long Celestial Island, cultivators were walking around the island in an orderly manner. Many cultivators even set up stalls in various places to sell things they didn't need in exchange for things they needed. All kinds of transactions were going on almost all the time, and they could be seen everywhere in the island. At a glance, one could see that there were at least 1 million cultivators. However, it didn't seem very chaotic. Unlike the markets in the mortal world, the transactions between cultivators were very fast, and there was no shouting, which was beneath the dignity of the cultivators. On the island, the towering Ling Long Pavilion was guarded by many guards. Looking at the guards, every single one of them was a high immortal realm expert. In an empty loft in the Ling Long Pavilion, Yu Ling Long, who was wearing a purple dress that accentuated her flawless and perfect figure, was quietly leaning against the window. Her head was still covered by the bamboo hat that covered her face. Faintly, a faint aura leaked out from her body. She was shrouded in a mysterious aura. "Mother, what do you think about the news you just received?" Yu Linglong leaned against the window lazily and suddenly asked the beautiful woman in black in front of her. The beautiful woman looked at Yu Linglong with a complicated expression in her eyes. There was a strong motherly love in her eyes, but there was also a reverence and respect in her eyes, as if she had seen a noble existence. These two emotions were mixed together, and it was very complicated. She was Yu Linglong's mother, Yu Xian. The news of the tiger soul's appearance shouldn't be false. Its image has already been captured by the image-retaining pearl. Mother has also seen it, and it is indeed the Demon Emperor's personal weapon. However, if we conclude that the Demon Emperor has fallen just like that, isn't it a little too arbitrary? Yu Xian's beautiful eyes glowed with wisdom and confidence. She said, "Back then, I saw the Demon Emperor's face with my own eyes. He didn't look like he was going to die young. After you got the source of life from him, the elders and I worked together to calculate his fate using the 8 trigrams mirror. We found that we couldn't see his fate at all. In the long river of fate, he was always shrouded in a layer of fog. This means that his fate is filled with countless possibilities." After he said that, he paused and looked at Yu Linglong with a complicated expression. He sighed and said, "Furthermore, Di Shirtian obtained the treasure trove of the demonic beast clan left behind by Lord Ziyu. Not only are there many treasures left behind by the demonic beast clan, the one who obtains it will also obtain the fate of the demonic beast clan. With this fate, the demonic beast emperor will not die easily. Therefore, in Mother's opinion, this could be a trap set up by the demon emperor." "A trap?" Yu Linglong heard it and muttered to herself. She chuckled and said, "When I saw him back then, he was just a small demon king. I didn't expect that in such a short time, he would have the strength to set up a trap in the heavens. In this case, the illusory Void Island will be the fiercest battlefield before the return of the 100 clans." Senior Know-It-All said that it's time for our branch to return. Yu Xian walked to the window and looked out. She said with a sigh, "After so many years, I finally see the demonic beast clan coming back to the heavens and earth. The demonic beast clan, our demonic beast clan, has been declining for too long. It's time to show our strength." Vaguely, his gaze was abnormally deep. Although Ling Long's celestial island seemed to be aimless, it was constantly approaching the illusory Void Island. In the land of exile, Di Shirtian went against the heavens and slaughtered the demonic Dragon Crown Prince. He suppressed 2 ancient giants with a flip of his hand and killed Lei Bao the giant. 3 months had passed in a row. On this day, in the land of exile, a lively and solemn atmosphere suddenly filled the air. In the sky, the birds drew streaks of light in the air. There were carriages pulled by heavenly horses and heavenly rocks flying freely. The austere void exuded a kind of peaceful atmosphere. Everyone was heading in the direction of the ancient city that stood on the Sky Pillar Mountain. Sky Pillar City. Sky Pillar City had been expanded several times. The pitch-black city walls emitted a solemn and solemn atmosphere. On the city walls, demonic beast clan soldiers in armor and holding battle weapons stood tall and straight. Their eyes shone brightly, and their bodies emitted a strong, murderous aura. The entire ancient city was heavily guarded. Even a mosquito couldn't fly in. In the city gate, there was an endless stream of cultivators coming in and out. It was extremely lively. All kinds of discussions were heard. "Brother Jean, you're here too." In the city, 2 cultivators, one fat and one thin, met each other. They gathered together and laughed as they started to talk. "Hee, Brother Zhu, aren't you here too? Today's event is a once-in-a-lifetime event in the Banished Lands. If I miss it, I'll regret it for the rest of my life," the chubby cultivator said with a beaming smile. "That's right. The demonic beast emperor set a date for today's banquet. It's said that the demonic beast emperor has a connate spirit root, the reincarnation sacred spirit tree, The sacred spirit fruit that grows on the tree has unimaginable power. If we can take a bite, we'll have a chance to comprehend the great Tao and increase our realm. If we can eat it, it'll be worth it, even if we have to sacrifice 100 years of our lifespan. Hee. This sacred spirit fruit is not something we can covet. However, I heard that everything in Sky Pillar City will be sold at half the original price. There's also an unlimited supply of elixirs. This is a great opportunity that is hard to come by. The demonic beast emperor's battle strength is heaven-defying. There will definitely be many powerful figures coming to celebrate his ascension as an ancient heavenly demon. It will definitely be lively. However, the demonic dragon crown prince was killed by the demonic beast emperor. The demonic beast emperor will definitely not let this matter rest. They might come to cause trouble. This time, it won't be so easy to watch. It's said that the hidden strength of the demonic beast emperor is extremely terrifying. At the end of the conversation, it wasn't just the two of them. The cultivators beside them also joined in. However, when they mentioned the demonic beast emperor, their faces couldn't help but reveal a respectful expression. That heaven-defying battle strength that could kill an ancient giant was a great deterrent to all living things. Even if it was an enemy, they would still be awestruck. In the ancient city, an enormous palace that was supported by 8 towering divine pillars appeared in midair. Above the palace, 3 enormous ancient seals appeared. Martial Proclamation Hall. The entire palace stood in midair, emitting a majestic and dignified aura. It was filled with an unparalleled martial might and naturally revealed a shocking battle intent. It made people feel dizzy just by looking at it. Their hearts and minds were shaken. Looking up, one could see various relief sculptures on the palace. They faintly glowed with the light of stars. Sometimes, there were dragon roars and tiger roars in the deep mountains. Often, there were mottled lights and figures flying in the sky and burrowing on the ground. Then, the sun rose from the east. A bell chime that came from nowhere suddenly resounded throughout the entire heavenly pillar city. Everyone who heard the chime, no matter who it was, felt their minds go into a trance, as if they had fallen into a dream. When they woke up, their minds were clear, as if they had been enlightened. Many things that they didn't understand in the past were instantly understood. Even their own realms were greatly improved. In an instant, their spirits were lifted. Boom, boom, boom. As the bell chimes sounded, the ground rumbled. Neat rows of demonic soldiers quickly gathered in front of the Martial Proclamation Palace. Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird, White Tiger, and Black Tortoise, the 4 great armies. Tion Fa Armies Heaven Barracks. The armies stood orderly in front of the palace. King of Nightmare, Bayou, and the rest appeared one after another. The moment they appeared, the surrounding air instantly became strangely stifling. Swoosh! Millions of demonic soldiers stood there proudly. A suffocating, stifling pressure spread in all directions. In the blink of an eye, it filled the entire ancient city, causing all the cultivators in the city to stop their discussions and look at the Martial Proclamation Palace. A solemn aura spread continuously, causing the entire heavenly pillar city to become strangely silent at this moment. Suddenly, all the armies looked at the city lord's residence at the same time. There was a burning aura in their gazes. There was an incomparable fervor flickering faintly. In front of the city lord's residence, one of them was wearing a black emperor's robe, a pair of dragon boots, and a purple gold jade belt. Above his head was a sparkling and translucent ancient bell, which had a gourd scroll and giant carvings on it. The bell was spinning slowly. A kind of imperial aura intertwined around him. The formless aura made it impossible for people to look directly at him. Ding! In the Martial Proclamation Palace, a crisp sound rang out. It went straight into the depths of one's soul. It was as if the sound of a jade plate came from one's heart. Accompanied by the sound of the jade plate, countless beautiful demonic soldiers in the palace started to play all kinds of elegant music. It was like the sound of the vast heavens. Together, they formed a mystical heavenly melody. It was melodious and beautiful, but it did not lose its solemn majesty. It echoed in the entire heavenly pillar city. In the palace, a purplish golden staircase suddenly descended, directly extending from the top of the palace to the front of Sakura. There were a total of 99 steps. Clouds surrounded the stairway, and countless reliefs flickered faintly. Patter! Tian stepped onto the stairway. Swoosh! The demonic soldiers on both sides of the stairway suddenly knelt on one knee. They raised their heads and looked at Tian with fervent expressions. They congratulated loudly. Congratulations, Your Majesty, for entering the ancient heavenly demon realm and achieving an undying body. You live as long as the heavens and the earth. Shine as bright as the sun and the moon. You are immortal, and your battle strength is heaven-defying. Congratulations to the rise of the demonic soldiers. Every word carried a kind of fanatical will. It gathered the indomitable will of the entire demon race, which had suffered endless suffering since ancient times, but had never yielded, never despaired, and even the will of the countless demon race ancestors that had risen for thousands of years. At this moment, it gathered together and turned into a torrent. They merged into a shocking solemnity and spirit. It echoed between heaven and earth. Stepping on the stairway, even with Tian's temperament, he still felt an indescribable heaviness. It was as if there was a terrifying weight on his shoulders. It pressed down on his footsteps, making his footsteps even more steady. This was not just a celebration for him, but also for the rise of the demonic soldiers. He carried the hopes of the entire demonic soldiers. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 792. Not only were they congratulating the Demon Emperor, but they were also congratulating the rise of the demon race. Thump, thump, thump. Tian ascended the stairway step by step. Every step he took was terrifyingly steady, as if he were stepping on the hopes of countless ancestors of the demon race. He walked on the path that had been forged with the blood and flesh of the martyrs. With every step he took, he seemed to feel the blessings of countless heroic spirits of the demon race. Your Majesty, the Demon Emperor, you have stepped into the ancient heavenly demon realm and achieved an undying body. You have the same lifespan as heaven and earth, the same splendor as the sun and moon, eternal immortality. Your battle prowess is heaven-defying, and you can suppress the four poles. Congratulations to the rise of the demon race. Every time he ascended a stairway, the surrounding demon race cultivators would follow suit and prostrate themselves on the ground. Their loud, congratulatory cries shook the heavens and shook the hearts of the demon race cultivators. That solemn and dignified aura filled every inch of the air. It was as if there was a huge, infectious power. Amidst the cheers, many cultivators who were not from the demon clan felt as if they were looking at an ancient royal road. It was as if they could vaguely see the glory of the demon clan in the antiquity age in the void. Your Majesty, the Demon Emperor, you have stepped into the ancient heavenly demon realm and achieved an undying body. You have the same lifespan as heaven and earth, the same splendor as the sun and moon, eternal immortality. Your battle prowess is heaven-defying, and you can suppress the four poles. A cultivator's heart trembled, and he couldn't help but prostrate himself in the direction of Tian and congratulate him. The surrounding cultivators were like dumplings as they followed suit and congratulated him. Their congratulatory cries were like the heavenly music of the heavenly Tao, reverberating and spreading in all directions. Amidst the celebratory cries, a wisp of purple chi came from the east and shone on him. It was as if a supreme divine light had gathered on his body. It was as if he was the only emperor in the world. He ascended the 99 stairways to the heavenly demon realm, step by step. He stepped into the palace, where heavenly music continued to reverberate. He entered the palace, where a purple gold throne rested high above. Sakura took steady steps forward and came to the front of the throne before sitting upright. Your Majesty, the Demon Emperor, you have stepped into the ancient heavenly demon realm and achieved an undying body. Live as long as heaven and earth, shine as bright as the sun and moon, eternally immortal, possess heaven-defying combat prowess, and suppress the four poles. Congratulations on the rise of the demonic race. The moment he sat down, the thunderous congratulations became even louder and more fervent. Heaven and earth went silent. Nightmare King, Mengshi, Baiyu, Ratda, Chihua, Longyu, Shui Ling Yuan Zhan, Yuan Tian, Inkong, Xiongba, Hu, and the rest of the ministers of Myriad Demon City followed into the hall. They stood respectfully on both sides. They were arranged in 2 rows. In the hall, there were small wine tables that resembled ancient banquets. One could enter the banquet just by sitting down. Maids stood in great numbers all around, holding all kinds of fruits, spirit essences, and fine wine in their hands. The Demon Emperor has reached the ancient Sky Demon realm. How can I, many treasures, miss out on this opportunity? I'll use this tiny item to express my sincerity. I congratulate the Demon Emperor. Within the Martial Proclamation Palace, one could directly see the scene outside the palace. A mystical red-crowned crane came from afar. On the back of the red-crowned crane, Many Treasures Boy laughed and said loudly. With a wave of his hand, an incomparably huge carriage appeared in midair. When the carriage appeared, it was as if an ancient emperor had descended, exuding an unparalleled emperor's aura. The carriage was purple gold in color. When it appeared, it was like a huge purple gold sun, exuding a dazzling, divine brilliance. The supreme noble aura it exuded was even more obvious. As long as one's cultivation base was slightly weaker, they would be unable to open their eyes when they saw the carriage. Just this carriage alone seemed to be able to suppress the entire void. Moreover, every part of the carriage was extremely exquisite and gorgeous, setting off the majesty of an emperor. In front of the carriage, there were 9 ropes. It seemed that they were used to restrain the strange beasts that pulled the carriage. Could this be the legendary celestial emperor's carriage that was refined by an unparalleled demon emperor's indestructible demon body and various supplementary materials in the ancient times for the demon emperor of the demon clan? It is said that this carriage was prepared to defeat the demon god continent and proclaim the demon clan as the emperor. I thought that this was just a legend. Back then, countless experts of the demon clan fought a bloody battle. The hundreds of races in the heavens admired the sacrifices the demon clan made for the source continent, so they specially spent countless efforts to refine it. It was said that countless precious treasures were fused into the chariot. Not only was the body of a peerless demon emperor used as the frame of the chariot, but it was also made with a connate spirit embryo and all kinds of connate spirit materials. It took thousands of years for the chariot to be made with the essence of chaos fire in the 9 heavens. Unfortunately, before the war chariot could appear, the demon race had already fallen into decline. Even the celestial emperor's carriage disappeared. It became a legend. Many experts speculated that the carriage did not exist at all. Could it be this one? In a land of exile, there was no lack of experienced and knowledgeable people. Which of those who were exiled to this place did not have a history in the myriad heavens and realms? Even the secrets of the ancient times were mentioned as if they were the family treasures. He, the boy of many treasures, naturally heard the words around him. He deliberately coughed a few times, and a trace of embarrassment flashed across his face. However, it was covered up in the blink of an eye. Di Shirtion immediately concealed this embarrassment. He thought to himself, "It seems that the identity of this boy of many treasures is not simple. There must be a secret in this matter that the celestial emperor's carriage is in his hands." He thought in his heart, but his face did not show the slightest surprise. He nodded majestically and said, "I cannot refuse such a precious gift. Please take a seat in the hall." As soon as he finished speaking, A maid immediately came to the front of the boy of many treasures and led him to the seat on the left side of the hall. Since the boy of many treasures is here, I can't stay behind. The demon emperor's combat strength is heaven-defying. The god of death admires you. Just at this moment, a figure who was standing on a huge black crow spoke in a loud voice. His icy, cold voice sent chills down one's spine. With a casual wave of his hand, it was actually a strange egg that was the color of chaos. Tion glanced at it, and a strange look flashed across his face. He nodded and said, "I am honored that the city lord of the exile city has come. Please take a seat in the hall." He took a deep look at the strange egg, and then slowly retracted his gaze. However, his heart was not calm. The moment he saw the strange egg, Dark, who had been paying attention to the outside, immediately shouted in his mind, "A chaos egg! It's an egg laid by a chaos beast. There is such a treasure in the land of exile. You must get it. Crazy D, you must get this chaos egg. The benefits are too great." Although he did not know what kind of existence the primal chaos beast was, he had never seen Nether so agitated since he got to know it. How could he not know how precious this strange egg was? It was probably not inferior to the Heavenly Emperor's war chariot from before. There must be all kinds of inconceivable wonders in it. The Culinary God Tribe is here to congratulate you. The entire tribe is here to congratulate you. At this moment, a mighty voice rang out in the Martial Proclamation Palace. What? Treating the entire tribe as a congratulatory gift? How strange. The Culinary God Tribe is the Culinary God Tribe of the 100 Tribes. Anything in their hands can be turned into the most delicious delicacies in the world at the fastest speed. They also have all kinds of magical effects that are not inferior to any elixir. The seasonings in the land of exile are made by them. Otherwise, the ferocious beast meat here can't be eaten at all. They are here too. What's going on here with the entire clan? The entire Sky Pillar City was shocked. Countless pairs of eyes looked in the direction of the voice at the same time. One had to know that the Culinary God Tribe's status in the land of exile was not to be underestimated. In the land of exile, the ferocious beast meat could not be eaten directly. Instead, purple radish powder was used as seasoning to cleanse the violent energy contained in it. Otherwise, even if it was eaten, it would harm the body. Only the Culinary God Tribe knew how to make the purple radish powder. One could imagine how revered their status was here. Looking at the sky, a huge poisonous dove flapped its wings and quickly flew over from the distance. On the back of the poisonous dove, there were 3 fat men and 2 delicate and pretty young girls. In their eyes, a wolf-like light shone as they stared fixedly at the main hall. After dismounting the poisonous dove, they quickly rushed into the main hall. The demon soldiers guarding the main hall wanted to stop them, but seemed to have heard some instructions and did not move. They directly allowed the 5 Culinary God Tribe members to enter the main hall. Among them, the one with the largest body was a fatty with a big head and big ears. He hurriedly looked at Sakura and shouted, "Your Majesty, Demon Emperor, I heard that you have an innate spirit root. Reincarnation, sacred spirit tree. I wonder if this news is true." His face was full of anticipation. The 4 people behind him also had the same longing expression. This is a good opportunity. Crazy D, your chance to subdue the Culinary God Tribe has come. With the sacred reincarnation spirit tree, it's too easy for you to subdue them. TSK, you'll have a chance in the future. Their tribe has been searching for this connate spiritual root for generations. The Holy Spirit fruit on the tree was too tempting for them. There's no way to resist it. Ming opened his dragon mouth, almost drooling. That's right. The sacred reincarnation spirit tree is indeed in I's hands. Tion said in a low voice, glancing at the 5 Culinary God Tribe members in front of him. It's really here. The fat man opened his big mouth and laughed. Good. Your Majesty, the 5 of us are from the Culinary God Tribe. We are born gourmets and can cook the most delicious food in the world. Since your Majesty has become an ancient celestial demon, we naturally came to congratulate you. As for the congratulatory gift, it's us 5 siblings. Your Majesty, you can't refuse it." With that, he rolled his monstrous eyes, looking as if he was going to stay here for the rest of the day. They were extraordinarily obsessed with the sacred reincarnation spirit tree. "Take it. Why would I accept it?" Tion smiled faintly. He said decisively, "Besides, I can let you see the sacred reincarnation spirit tree immediately." "Ha, don't worry, Your Majesty. We 5 siblings won't let you down. Watch us cook the best delicacies in the world." With a wave of his hand, he sent the 5 siblings into his inner world. Woo woo woo. Just then, the void rumbled, and a terrible demon god horn sounded. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com and read more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 793. This is the demonic god horn. Why would the demonic god horn sound at this time? Could it be that Demonic City wants to avenge the deaths of the demonic Dragon Crown Prince and the Witch of Myriad Wonders? To choose this time, this is a provocation, a slap in the face. They want to trample on the demonic emperor during this celebration. Demonic City actually has such guts. The demonic emperor is an expert with heaven-defying battle strength. He can tear the void apart with his bare hands and break out of a cage at any time. Could it be that Demonic City has some kind of trump card that can deal with the demonic emperor? Demonic City and Heavenly Pillar City probably won't rest until one of them is dead. 2 experts of the Sky Demon Realm. Who knows? There's going to be an earth-shattering battle this time. With the demonic emperor's personality, how could he allow Demonic City to provoke him? The demonic god horn sounded. In the void, the clouds seemed to be affected by some kind of indescribable power and kept rolling. As if they had a life of their own, they rapidly changed their forms and condensed into various scenes. For a moment, they turned into a large group of 8-armed demonic gods, then into countless galloping demonic beasts, then into a large demonic army. Awe-inspiring demonic chi gathered from all directions. A terrifying, murderous aura filled the air. This was the signal for the demonic god clan to start a war. Demonic Emperor, you killed the demonic Dragon Crown Prince and the Witch of Myriad Wonders of Demonic City. Such a crime deserves the extermination of 9 generations of your family and the destruction of your soul. You should be banished to the 9 underworlds. You will never be able to transcend. A mighty demonic sound intensely reverberated across the sky. That demonic sound was filled with a frightening pressure that seemed like it could crush the world. Vast and mighty demonic might swept across the entire Heaven Pillar City like floodwaters. Rumble. In the sky above Heavenly Pillar City, the void distorted and a loud rumble sounded. The light of the rising sun was suddenly covered. Heaven and earth darkened as a huge shadow appeared in the sky. What? The Book of the Underworld? No. It's not the Book of the Underworld. It's the strategy of the Sky Demon. No, that damned demon god. Inside the Nether prison, Nether opened his bloody mouth and widened his eyes, looking at the thing that suddenly appeared in the sky. Then he was so angry that he almost spat fire. He roared madly, "Damn it! Damn it! Nether book, my real body. I can't believe those demonic gods have refined it into some bullsh asterisk T Sky Demon. I'm going to kill them, these damned demonic gods. How could this be? How did the Book of the Underworld fall into the hands of the demon god? Book of the Underworld? You said it was a Book of the Underworld." Tion felt a vast pressure emanating from the void. There was a hint of innate charm in it. What appeared in midair was definitely a sky demon treasure. It can't be wrong. 9 pages. It's a 9-page book of the underworld. They refined my real body into a sky demon treasure. They've gone too far. They've really gone too far. Lunatic D, snatch it, snatch it. This is too despicable. Snatch it and merge it with the divine eye of heavenly punishment. It'll definitely increase the power of the divine eye again. Who knows, it might even be able to upgrade to the 4th innate divine restriction. Nether roared loudly. His eyes were so red that they looked like they were going to bleed. Everyone in the martial proclamation palace looked at the void outside the palace. A pitch-black book suddenly appeared in the sky above Heavenly Pillar City. This book only had 9 pages, and it looked abnormally tattered as if it had been damaged. However, there were still wisps of obscure demonic chi and ancient demonic runes on it. They looked like countless small black tadpoles. They swam around as if they were alive. A few ancient demonic runes were intertwined on it. Sky Demon Tome. Although it was tattered, the pressure it exuded was undisguised. It was obvious that the Sky Demon Tome in front of them was a powerful Sky Demon treasure that had been merged with an innate spiritual embryo. It possessed supreme demonic chi. The vast pressure caused many cultivators in the city to break out in cold sweat. Their bodies were like sieves as they trembled violently. They felt like they were going to kneel on the ground under the pressure. "Umph! How dare you come to my heavenly pillar city to show off? I'm not dead yet." Tion suddenly stood up from his throne. The moment he stood up, it was as if there was a divine mountain that supported the heavens and the earth. It was brimming with an indomitable spirit. In a flash, he left the martial proclamation palace. Boom, boom, boom. Tian's demonic body instantly expanded violently. In the blink of an eye, he had expanded to 50,000 feet tall. He was like a giant. The vast pressure he exuded caused the space around him to distort strangely. It was as if it could not withstand the aura emitted from his body and was about to collapse. "I'll get down here." Tian stretched out his right hand and grabbed forward. His huge hand covered the sky as if he wanted to grab the sun and the moon. Chakravarti Galaxy. With a domineering and ferocious force. Even the void was about to be torn apart when he raised his hand. "Demon Emperor, you killed 2 Sky Demon from my demonic city. Today, I'll bury you with them." Sky Demon's secret realm. Open. In a heavenly devil stratagem, a demonic roar filled with cold, killing intent instantly roared out, spreading to the entire heaven and earth. At the same time, the moment the voice fell, a demonic light burst out from the heavenly devil stratagem and shone on Tian's body in an instant. In an instant, the entire Sky Pillar City was covered in this pitch-black demonic light. Tian felt the scenery in front of him change. Suddenly, he appeared in an inexplicable place. The Sky Demon's secret realm. In a land of exile, there are a total of 3 secret realms. The Ghost Valley secret realm, the Ferocious Beast secret realm, and the Sky Demon secret realm. Among them, the Sky Demon secret realm is the most mysterious and is controlled by the demonic city. I didn't expect that the Sky Demon secret realm is the Sky Demon Tome. The boy of many treasures raised his head in astonishment. He saw that after the demonic light appeared, it only swept Sakura in before disappearing. The entire demonic book was still floating in midair. The 3 secret realms were the only places in the land of exile where one could use their secret skills. There were also rare treasures. Among them, the Ghost Valley secret realm was formed by the 100 Ghosts parade diagram. It had been taken away by the Fengdu Ghost Emperor when he left. It could be said that there were only 2 secret realms left in the land of exile. No one expected the most mysterious Sky Demon secret realm to appear here. The demonic city came prepared this time. They intend to completely target the Demon Emperor and kill him. There must be a terrifying expert from the demonic city in the Sky Demon secret realm. Not good. The demonic city intends to attack and occupy Sky Pillar City. The Grim Reaper's eyebrows were deeply furrowed under the mask. Outside Sky Pillar City, the mournful sound of the demon god's horn reverberated continuously. "All legions, follow me to meet the enemy." The King of Nightmare suddenly stood up. His weathered face was filled with determination. He said resolutely, "Today is the day of celebration for His Majesty. We must not tarnish the reputation of the demon race. We must use the blood of the demon god to embellish the bloody battle song of the rise of the demon race. There are no cowards in the monster clan. Let's fight, fight, fight." Mengxi's voice that could cut through gold and cut through iron came out her mouth. Her body overflowed with a strong fighting spirit. Her instinct as a military advisor was completely displayed. He wanted to fight. Fight! 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 No matter how many demon gods there are, the demon race has never retreated half a step. Chihor resolutely took a step forward. His body emitted a blazing fighting spirit like fire. Even if we die, we will not retreat half a step. Although Shui Ling was a woman, at this moment, her body overflowed with a strong, heroic spirit. She was not inferior to men. His Majesty, the Demon Emperor, will not be humiliated lightly. Those who humiliate him will be killed. Baiyu coldly raised his eyebrows. In his hand, there was a silver-white book. On the book, there was the 10,000 Demon Codex. For ancient demon characters, the book emitted a strange aura that seemed to replace heaven and earth and judge all living things. Faintly, with every sentence he uttered, the world around him seemed to be moving along with him. On his back, there was a silver-white battle sword. His aura was cold and sharp. Pass down my order to the entire city. 3,000 demon-destroying crossbows are to be dispatched immediately. One god-slaying crossbow is to be set up in the most important area. All legions immediately get into formation and prepare to meet the enemy. Seeing that the morale was high, King Nightmare did not hesitate to issue the order. Immediately, outside the Martial Proclamation Palace, all the legions began to get into formation. A murderous aura pervaded the entire ancient city. At this moment, in the Sky Demon Codex, no, perhaps it should be called the Sky Demon Secret Realm, Di Shirtian stood on the ground like a peerless god. His pitch-black hair fluttered without wind, wildly dancing behind his head. His cold eyes seemed to carry the majesty of heaven and earth. With just a glance, he could cause a cultivator's body to collapse and die. On his face, however, was an abnormally dignified expression. In front of him was a giant demon god that was 80,000 feet tall. The 5 pairs of sky demon wings on his back were emitting bursts of demonic brilliance. The pitch-black feathers were like sharp arrows. They almost pierced through the sky. Endless demonic aura gathered toward the demon wings on his back. They constantly revolved around the vast demon god's body. The pitch-black demon hair fluttered with the wind. As it fluttered, it was like a terrifying demon river trembling. On his forehead, there was an upside-down demon eye. It was emitting a deep glow. In his hand, he held a pitch-black, ferocious demon sword, a fallen demon god, and it was a 10-winged, fallen great demon god. Di Shirtian stared at the demon god in front of him with a grave expression. He recognized that this was a fallen demon god from the upper-level demon god race in the demon god continent. Moreover, this demon god was even more terrifying than the one he saw in the demon realm. The one he saw back then was only 8-winged, but the one in front of him was a 10-winged fallen great demon god. The Sky Demon Secret Realm? It's a little different from what I thought. Di Shirtian took a deep breath and said indifferently, I didn't expect that there would only be you. If I want to kill you, 7 knights am enough. The 7 knights demon master looked at Di Shirtian with a cold smile. His gaze was as if he was looking at a dead man. There was a strong sense of confidence in his voice. 7 knights demon master, a fallen demon god at the peak of the Sky Demon Realm. With your strength, you could have torn the world apart with your bare hands long ago and escaped from the land of exile. But you didn't leave. Instead, you hid in the Sky Demon Secret Realm. It seems that Demon City is plotting something big. Di Shirtian stared at the 7 knights demon master's face calmly. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 794. Rumor has it that the Demon Emperor is extraordinarily intelligent. Why don't you tell me what demonic city is plotting? The 7 Knights Demon Master's strength was at the peak of the Sky Demon. and he was only one step away from becoming an unparalleled expert. As an upper-level demon god in the demon god continent, his combat strength was so strong that he could tear apart the void and shatter the vacuum. At that moment, there was only him and D. Shurtion in the Sky Demon's secret realm. They were not in a hurry to kill each other, and instead, they were chatting with great interest. Rumor has it that Demonic City has a long history and has existed since ancient times. It has always been at odds with the City of Exile and has lived here. However, Demonic City's overall strength is indeed stronger than the City of Exile. Moreover, you have the Sky Demon's secret realm in your hands. Relying on the secret realm, you can definitely nurture a large number of experts. You are extremely powerful. Even if you really want to destroy the City of Exile, as long as you are willing to pay a certain price, it may not be impossible. Sakura said in a deep voice, "You obviously have the strength, but you're hiding it. Obviously, if there isn't something in the City of Exile that you're afraid of, then you're plotting something more important." Oh, the Seven Knights Demon Master's eyes flashed, but he did not move and continued to listen calmly. The Land of Exile is extremely special. It is a mysterious place that evolved from the Chaos Fragments and is independent of the Source Continent and the Demon God Continent. However, it is connected to both continents. The rules here are strange, but regardless of whether it is the Source World or the Demon God World, one can enter this place. D. Shurtion's mind spun rapidly as he deduced various possibilities. Even if the Annihilation Tide did not come, it can still connect the two places. It can be said to be the only link in the Chaos World. If I am not wrong, Demonic City is planning to use the Land of Exile as a springboard to invade the Source Continent. No, perhaps you have already invaded the Myriad Worlds. D. Shurtion's words are like thousands of thunderbolts that landed on the Seven Knights Demon Master. As he spoke, his pupils shrank and constricted. There was a deep sense of fear and murderous intent. D. Shurtion's intelligence made the killing intent in his heart many times stronger than before. Perhaps in the eyes of others, he was only exiled here. Actually, only he himself knew that he hadn't offended some sort of inconceivable existence, and he'd been exiled here of his own accord. Moreover, his objective was indeed similar to what D. Shurtion had guessed. It was to create a pre-sky, sky demon treasure, the Eternal Demon Gate. As for the Eternal Demon Gate, not only did it require a Sciention spirit embryo, it also required the eternal heavenly crystals that could only be found in the Banished Lands. Even the most precious treasure of the Demon God Continent, the primeval demon crystal. They had spent countless precious treasures to create this ancient sky demon treasure. The Eternal Demon's sect's goal was to open up the connection between the Land of Exile and the Source Continent. It allowed the demon gods to freely cross the exiled land and enter the Source Continent, the Myriad Worlds. Nibbling away, invisibly, it began to erode the Myriad Worlds. This demon treasure had been created long ago, but its existence was a supreme secret, even in Demonic City. D. Shurtion could see through Demonic City's schemes and countless years of planning from simple matters. This intelligence instantly caused the Seven Knights Demon Master's murderous intent to soar. If others knew about this, it might not be a big deal. According to the rules of the Banished Lands, they couldn't leave at all. However, D. Shurtion was different. He was a heaven-defying expert who could tear open the vacuum and leave the Banished Lands at any time. Once the news spread, the millions of years of planning would be destroyed in an instant. Moreover, I'm afraid that you already have spies and pawns in the myriad of worlds. D. Shurtion's face was cold. A thought flashed through his mind. It was as if all the threads were completely connected in an instant. No wonder the Dragon Demon Crown Prince would say such words before he died. Ming, immediately increase the punishment. You have to squeeze out all the secrets from the Dragon Demon Crown Prince. Do not let go of even the slightest bit. I want to know just how many hidden pawns of the Demon God Continent exist in the myriad worlds. D. Shurtion immediately ordered. Don't worry, I will treat the Dragon Demon Crown Prince with all my heart. Dark revealed a ferocious expression. The heavenly devil strategy was refined from his body, the book of underworld. This was simply touching his reverse scale. The anger in his heart was about to burn his mind. He screamed, "Lunatic D, when you fight with the 7 Knights Demon Sovereign later, take the opportunity to send me into the heavenly devil strategy. This heavenly devil strategy is refined from my body. Don't think that you can completely ignore my senses just because you have refined it into a demonic tool. You're dreaming. See if I don't seize complete control of the Sky Demon treasure. I'm going to eat this damned Sky Demon treasure soul alive." His expression was ferocious. He roared fiercely. "A demon emperor is a demon emperor. You're so intelligent that you can calculate so many things. But don't even think about leaving the Sky Demon secret realm today." The 7 Knights Demon Master sneered. "You know too much." His killing intent completely erupted without any concealment. "Kill." The 7 Knights Demon Master leaned forward slightly. The Sky Demon wings on his left were like the sharpest of blades, drawing the sharpest of arcs in the air as they swept toward Tion. The 5 pairs of demonic wings emitted a dark demonic radiance, bringing out a tragic light. One could clearly see that wherever the wings passed, even the void was instantly sliced apart. If they landed on a person, they would probably be cut into 6 or 7 pieces. Like a blade, they seemed to want to cut open the void. "Oomph. Even if you're a birdman, I'll still beat you." Tian's body swayed as he snorted coldly. "Ultimate Emperor, indestructible body." In an instant, the undying divine rings rapidly grew out of his flesh. Among them, the divine halos of anger, sorrow, joy, and taste were so condensed that they seemed to be solid. They were like purple gold glass, and the holy spirits within them were lifelike, exuding endless power of desire. As for the 5th halo of fear, it was slightly dimmer. However, the moment it appeared, the 4 terrifying emotions of anger, sorrow, joy, and fear swept toward the 7 Knights Demon Master. Clang! The ultimate emperor indestructible body collided with the demonic wings. The dark demonic wings glowed with a metallic luster, and when they collided, a terrifying metallic sound rang out. The aura of terror was destroyed on the spot. However, the other 4 undying divine halos released a dazzling divine radiance, and the purple gold light blocked the devil wings. An intense collision erupted, and the force emitted tore the surrounding space apart. It was cut into pieces. The demonic wings were sharp, but the indestructible divine halos were even tougher. It could be said to be a supreme technique for refining one's body. When they collided, intense sparks flew. Bang! Tion did not retreat. Instead, he advanced. His body was filled with battle intent, and he raised his eyebrows, exuding endless power. He stretched out his hands and grabbed at the 5 demonic wings. Ultimate Emperor Creation Palm, tearing heaven and earth. He stretched out both hands at the same time to grab the Sky Demon wings. His hands glowed with a purple gold color, and they carried a sharp aura. Under his hands, the void trembled. As long as he moved his hands, it was as if he could tear the entire world apart. He carried with him a tyrannical and violent aura. Bang! His hands were as fast as lightning, and the 5 demonic wings slashed at the indestructible divine halos around him like blades. With one hand, he grabbed 2 demonic wings, one above and one below. Suddenly, a terrifying tearing force exploded between his hands. He grabbed the demonic wings and was about to tear them apart from the fallen demon god. "Oomph! You want to tear off my demonic wings? Don't you know that the strongest part of the fallen demon god clan's combat strength lies in the demonic wings behind us? Tear off my demonic wings, and I'll pierce you with 10,000 swords." The 7 Knights Demon God's body shook, and his body emitted a dazzling demonic light. The demonic light on the 5 pairs of demonic wings behind him was even more dazzling, like 10 pitch-black demonic suns. Clang, clang, clang. The pitch-black feathers were like the sharpest demonic swords in the world. They stood upright and cut through the void, leaving countless terrifying sword scars in the void. A terrifying demonic power instantly erupted from under the feathers, turning into countless streaks of energy. They collided with Shurtian's hands, producing a metallic sound as they tried to shake his hands off. At the same time, the pitch-black feathers on the demonic wings turned into terrifying demonic swords, and the tips of the swords were pointed at Shurtian. Traces of sharp edges cut through the vacuum. The void was sliced into countless pieces. Feather after feather shot out and revolved around the 7 Knights Demon Master. In the midst of it, he was like an unparalleled demon god that judged the entire world. He looked down on the world. The demonic power on his body was vast and mighty. He was about to suppress all directions. Bang, bang, bang. Back in the ancient times, I had slaughtered countless demons and drank their blood. However, I have yet to kill a demon emperor. Today I'll kill you. I'll kill you like a dog. The 7 Knights Demon God's demonic power was unparalleled. The 100,000 demonic swords immediately shot out, sealing off the entire void. They enveloped Shurtian in the middle of the demonic swords and swept over with boundless killing power. The void collapsed inch by inch. It was like being in a doomsday battlefield. It's still unknown who will kill who. Shurtian, have been awe-inspiring all my life. How can I die in the hands of a birdman? Today, I'll pluck your bird first. Shurtianu's eyes were blazing with divine light as he shouted coldly. He brazenly attacked. Imperial Extreme Creation Palm. Shing, he's circling. He blasted out a palm. It was as if there was a Shing he spinning in the palm. Within the Shing countless stars revolved. An unparalleled power that could reverse the universe erupted. The powerful power caused the surrounding void to distort instantly. The 100,000 demonic swords that were originally sweeping over were instantly swept into the vast Shing and grabbed into his hands. He pinched them and instantly sent them into his inner world. Pluck his bird feathers. At the same time, Shurtian fiercely launched a killing move. His left foot stepped on the ground, and the ground instantly cracked. Countless spiderweb-like cracks spread out in all directions. A huge demonic body rose into the air. His foot stepped out with a peerless battle skill. Imperial Extreme Creation Heaven Fighting Steps. Earth-shattering step. Chapter 795. Fight, fight, fight. Break the sky and pluck out all the feathers of this demon god. Ever since he stepped into the ancient heavenly demon realm, due to his cultivation of the Imperial World-shocking book, his combat strength was almost invincible among those of the same level. His combat strength was heaven-defying. All this time, he had not really used his full strength to display his heaven-defying combat strength. And this fallen great demonic god in front of him, the 7 Knights Demon Master. His cultivation base had reached the peak of the sky demon realm. His combat strength was not inferior to his own. After a series of collisions, the blood in his body began to boil. A strong battle intent surged into his mind like a tide. Fight! I want to fight to my heart's content. The Imperial Extreme Heaven Battling Steps. One step to shatter mountains and rivers. Shurtian's entire body rose into the air. His huge demon body was like an ancient god descending. He stepped on the 7 Knight Demon Master, and under his feet, a beautiful picture scroll of mountains and rivers appeared. Those scenes that appeared seemed to be real. This step had the power to shatter mountains and rivers, sweeping over. The vast power was enough to shatter heaven and earth. The sun and moon fell. He stepped on the 7 Knight Demon Master's head. This step was to step on his face. How dare you? The 7 Knight Demon Master's face suddenly darkened. This obvious action of stepping on his face completely enraged him. The mysterious demon's sword in his hand, which was covered with countless demon runes, was suddenly raised and pointed to the sky. He let out a demon chant. The demon god said, when the Tao is 1 foot tall, the demon god is 10 feet tall. All demon gods will live eternally in depravity. All enemies will fall into depravity and fall into depravity forever. On that demonic sword, endless demonic splendor blossomed. Carrying a bizarre, mighty force, it instantly greeted Sakura. In midair, a bizarre scene suddenly appeared. There was an endless fallen abyss that strangely emerged. In this fallen abyss, countless creatures let out mournful howls. There was not a trace of light in it. It was as if there was an invisible force constantly pulling them into the abyss. Countless abyss iron chains were constantly waving like spiritual snakes. Whoosh! Those abyssal iron chains tied up the mountains and rivers for tens of thousands of miles, violently dragging them into the abyssal abyss. An endless amount of power of depravity burst forth. It was as though there was some sort of inexplicable demonic voice reverberating continuously within it, luring one into depravity. Bang! However, the instant that 10,000 li of mountains and rivers approached the fallen abyss, the mountains and rivers collapsed, erupting with a terrifying power that could tear apart the heavens and rend the earth. The will of the mountains and rivers completely erupted. It crashed into the fallen abyss. In an instant, the entire void was destroyed. Shattering inch by inch, thousands of miles of mountains and rivers were annihilated along with the fallen abyss. However, the shockwaves that were emitted were enough to cause a similar ancient sci-fi's expression to change drastically. The devil said, "When I am a devil, the devil is the god. When I fall, the heavens and earth will fall. Those who follow me will live forever, and those who stand in my way will be judged." The 7 Nights Demon Lord was as cold as ever as he spat out a string of strange words. The demon's sword in his hand was pointed at D. Shirtion once again. Boundless demonic light shone incomparably resplendently, as though it contained a supreme will. It quickly gathered above his head, and at a speed visible to the naked eye, it quickly condensed into a huge gray spear. Fallen Judgment. The terrifying battle spear contained a supreme will that judged all things. Even if the heavens and earth were in front of it, the spear could completely penetrate them. Damn it, this guy actually knows the supreme divine ability of the demon god clan, Fallen Demon Curse. Lunatic D, you have to be careful. This Fallen Demon Curse is extremely terrifying. It's the unparalleled divine ability of the Fallen Demon God clan. You must not be careless. Quick, send me out. I will devour this sky demon's bullsh *T artifact's soul and control this sky demon. When the time comes, the two of us will definitely be able to suppress the 7 Nights Demon Lord. When Ming saw the terrifying curse appearing one after another, even his expression changed slightly. All right, leave this to me. With a thought, D. Shirtion silently sent Ming out of the infernal purgatory and into the sky demon. Extreme Emperor Empyrean Seal, Tautai Seal. The huge spear with the will of judgment blasted directly at D. Shirtion's heart, wanting to directly pierce through D. Shirtion. When the spear moved, it was like a pillar that supported the heavens. It was incomparably fierce, as if it was going to pierce a hole in the sky. However, in an instant, a vast ancient seal with a radius of thousands of feet quickly emerged from the void. In the seal, the figure of Tautai appeared. It erupted with endless devouring power, like a terrifying black hole. When it collided with the spear, the seal caved in, showing the scene of a black hole. The ancient seal swallowed the spear inch by inch. However, the spear was extremely terrifying. It contained a supreme will, and even with the will of devouring, it could not be completely eliminated. The two violently collided. Dazzling divine light burst out. Rumble. Although D. Shirtion's combat strength was heaven-defying, and he could fight with a pinnacle ancient overlord, his cultivation realm was still at the early ancient heavenly demon realm after all. There was a gap in their realms, and the battle techniques they displayed could be said to be peerless. However, the supreme Ubijna of the fallen demon god clan, the fallen demon curse, was extremely powerful. Even the Tautai seal could not bear its mighty power. A section of a spear pierced through the ancient seal. The ancient seal collapsed, but at the same time, it also wore down the mighty power contained in the spear. Bang! The spear blasted on the undying divine ring that surrounded Di Shirtion. Immediately, the divine ring trembled violently, causing the surrounding void to be destroyed inch by inch. From the divine ring, intense colored glass divine light burst out, erupting with an incomparably domineering mighty power, shaking the spear until it shattered inch by inch. At the same time, the terrifying emotions of sorrow, anger, fear, and so on swept toward the seven knights demon sovereign like a tide. It's the power of desire. The power of desire was the source of all evil in the world, and it was something that even gods and demons were afraid of. Even though the seven knights demon sovereign had a strong will, he could not help but reveal sorrow, joy, anger, and even fear in his eyes. His demonic body suddenly stopped. Even he could not avoid the invasion of desire. Good chance. The moment Di Shirtion saw that the seven knights demon sovereign's mind was shaken by desire, a thought suddenly appeared in his mind. Without hesitation, he made his move to kill. Emperor's seal, celestial demon seal, Taudai seal, blissful seal, Emperor's seal. With a thought, the 4 Abhidna lotus seeds on the 11th star black lotus in the demon residence burst out with dazzling divine light, and 4 ancient seals instantly condensed outside his body. Each ancient seal exuded a different will, but at the same time, they suppressed all 4 directions. At the same time, they suppressed the 7 knights, demon sovereign. Wherever the ancient seals passed, the void collapsed. Boom, boom, boom. 4 ancient seals with a radius of thousands of feet, with a terrifying will, took advantage of the fact that the 7 knights demon sovereign was affected by desire and immediately smashed onto his demonic body. However, although the 7 knights demon sovereign was immersed in desire, his body reacted instinctively. The 5 pairs of demonic wings behind his back instantly hugged him and covered his entire demonic body, protecting him under the huge demonic wings. The pitch-black feathers emitted endless demonic light, like a pitch-black sun. The 4 ancient seals smashed onto the demonic wings forcefully. Instantly, the wings on the demonic wings were like sharp swords, trying to cut the ancient seals. However, they were passively resisting, and, on the spot, the wings were smashed off the demonic wings. A large amount of demonic blood spurted out, dyeing the void red. Damn it! The terrifying pain instantly woke the 7 knights demon sovereign up, and his face was filled with rage. Crack! The huge demonic sword in his hand drew a dazzling sword light in the air, with a will of judgment, and the sword slashed down on Di Shirtion as if it was splitting the heavens and earth. It was as if there was a will of judgment that bound the entire heaven and earth, as if there was a great demonic god of judgment in the sword. In front of that will, even one's mind was suppressed. One could not help but have the illusion that one was about to commit suicide. He felt as insignificant as an ant, as if he was facing a supreme giant. A terrifying sense of helplessness arose. It was as if he was a mortal, facing the judgment of a supreme emperor. Oof, you want to judge me? You're not qualified. Di Shirtion was only shocked for a moment, but with his tenacious mind that had gone through many states of desire, he woke up in the blink of an eye. His eyes were replaced by a kind of calmness. His mind was filled with blazing anger. Bell of Heaven's reincarnation. The huge, ancient bell instantly flew out of his body and appeared above his head. All kinds of strange scrolls appeared on the body of the bell, and countless stars decorated it. The moment it appeared, it had a kind of unparalleled power that suppressed the ancient times. Clang! The pressure emitted by the ancient bell forced away the terrifying will from the demonic sword and naturally revealed a kind of supreme concept of the heaven's reincarnation. In the heaven's reincarnation, Even the judgment would be constantly worn down. The ancient bell shook violently, and a vast bell sound instantly erupted from the ancient bell. At the same time, after Underworld left the Shurtian's body, it immediately wormed its way into the Sky Demon stratagem without a sound. It directly entered the deepest part of the Sky Demon stratagem. The Sky Demon stratagem was refined from its original body, the Underworld book. Although it was no longer the soul of the Underworld book, it had an unimaginable familiarity and control of the Underworld book. In the blink of an eye, it entered a mysterious space with ease. What appeared in front of it was a void of nothingness. In the void, there was a huge devil's pool. Inside the pool, there was a vast pool of pitch-black water. In this demonic pool, there was a pitch-black demonic dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long soaking in it. Its huge head was exposed, and it seemed to be in a deep sleep. Its body looked a little battered, and even many of its dragon scales had fallen off. It seemed to have been in a fierce battle. The demonic water in the pool constantly seeped into the dragon's body, as if nourishing it. Bald Loach, how dare you take over your ancestor's body? You've gone too far. You've really gone too far. Today, I'll definitely swallow you alive. When Underworld saw the demonic dragon in front of it, it began to roar crazily on the spot. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com to read more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 796. Seeing the demonic dragon, the fury in Dark's eyes almost shot out. The blood-red light on his body flickered like waves, and his perfect dragon scales opened and closed. He spat out blood-red dragon mist. He was enraged. He was like a bull that saw a red cloth. The power in his body exploded wildly. Bald Loach, I'll bite you to death. Nether's body shook, and he transformed into a 10,000-meter long blood dragon. He roared as he opened his bloody mouth and was about to bite down on the devil dragon. Roar! The demonic dragon, who was sleeping in the demonic pool, seemed to sense danger. His closed dragon eyes opened instantly. When he saw Dark charging towards him, he roared angrily. The broken dragon wings on his back flapped, and his huge dragon body soared into the sky from the demonic pool. He roared angrily. Who are you? Your ancestor. Dark was very smart. When he saw the demonic dragon's appearance, he immediately knew that it must have been severely injured and had yet to recover. Moreover, the appearance of the demonic book was also very damaged. It could be seen that it had been through a fierce battle, which was why its body was so severely damaged. Even its weapon soul was severely injured. Kill it while it's weak. How could Dark, who had experienced so much since ancient times, not know this logic? Immediately, a cruel expression appeared on his face. The demonic dragon in front of him definitely had the strength of an ancient giant. However, Dark had grown up with Sakura, and he had also recovered the powerful fighting strength of an ancient heavenly demon. Crack! The blood-red dragon claw landed on the demonic dragon's dragon wing, and a terrifying hole was torn open on the left wing. Roar! The demonic dragon was furious. He opened his mouth and bit at Dark. From the beginning of the battle, it entered an extremely bloody state. They were entangled with each other in the most primitive and bloody way. They used their claws and teeth to tear at each other. Every piece of flesh that was torn off would turn into the purest soul power and be absorbed by the other party. This was the devouring and killing between weapon souls. There was only one result when they fought each other. It was either they would be devoured and merged, or they would be devoured and merged. There was no other result. In the end, only one of them would be left. As for Underworld, he was as vigorous as a dragon and ferocious as a tiger. His battle prowess was unparalleled. The devil dragon had already been severely injured. As soon as they began to fight, they began to devour each other. Underworld held the main advantage. Large chunks of flesh were devoured by Nether. At this moment, outside Sky Pillar City, the earth rumbled violently. The various armies exited the city one after another. Outside the city, they lined up in neat formations. Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, White Tiger, and Heaven's Punishment Army's Heaven Battalion. No less than 2 million demon soldiers stared coldly in front of them. In front of them, a large number of ancient trees were pushed down. A large group of demonic gods that gave off terrifying battle intent and demonic chi coldly approached, and the demonic god phalanxes continued to advance. Roar! In front of the demon god, hundreds of millions of demonic beasts were charging in from all directions. These demonic beasts came from many different races. However, in an instant, they formed a beast tide and surged towards Sky Pillar City like a tidal wave. Anything that stood in their way was turned into dust on the spot. An aura that could topple mountains and overturn seas came crashing down in an instant. Prepare the demon-piercing crossbows. Fire! Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Huge battle arrows streaked across the sky from the heavenly pillar city and rapidly pierced through the beast tide that was charging towards them. The terrifying demonic crossbows pierced through the demonic beasts that were charging in front of them. Large amounts of demonic blood splattered in the void. His Majesty is fighting with the demon gods in the sky demon mystic realm. We cannot tarnish His Majesty's reputation. Brothers, do you have the guts to follow me to death? Chi was spat out coldly. His words were filled with the determination to die. The beast tide in front of them was 100 times larger than the one in the Bayou tribe. Its destructive power was simply unstoppable. Moreover, there were demon gods following behind them. It required a lot of courage to stand in front of them. Kill! 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 The various armies advanced instead of retreating. They spat out 3 words consecutively, expressing the choice in their hearts. All right, Azure Dragon Battle Formation, rise. The 4 armies did not hesitate and got into formation. With a ferocious determination to die, they instantly formed the Azure Dragon Real Body and the 4 great mythical beast battle bodies. Azure Dragon Claws. The gigantic Azure Dragon that was 10,000 feet long was comparable to an ancient heavenly demon. It unleashed its full power in an instant. A gigantic dragon claw descended from the clouds and smashed into the beast tide. Rumble. Within a radius of 10,000 feet, hundreds of thousands of demonic beasts were torn into countless pieces. Kill. Crack. At this moment in the void, a huge demonic dragon broke through the void. On the demonic dragon, the 7 malevolent demon master, who was tens of thousands of feet tall, was filled with a murderous aura. The 3-pointed, double-edged sabers in his hands instantly broke through the void and slashed down on the dragon claw of the Azure Dragon. With a terrifying sound, the dragon claw was cut off on the spot. Kill! 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 After the dragon claw was cut off, the huge dragon claw instantly glowed with divine light and completely dispersed into thousands of demon soldiers. Almost at the same time, they were severely injured and horrifying cracks appeared on their bodies. They seemed to be on their last breaths. However, their faces were cold and there was a hint of madness in their eyes. At the moment when they fell towards the beast tide, terrifying fluctuations erupted from their bodies. Boom, boom, boom. Among the terrifying explosions, the demon soldiers did not hesitate to self-destruct. The destructive power that erupted instantly engulfed a large number of demonic beasts and tore them into pieces. The self-destruction killed hundreds of millions of demonic beasts on the spot. Kill. When the 7 malevolent demon master attacked again, a huge black tortoise stood in front of the saber, and its huge tortoise shell forcefully blocked the sharpness of the saber. From the very beginning of the battle, it had already entered an extremely bloody and cruel state. A terrifying, murderous aura filled the air continuously. Tragic. Has Demonic City really gone mad this time? They actually sent out such a huge demonic beast army and a large number of demon gods behind them. Do they really intend to wipe out Heavenly Pillar City in one fell swoop? The boy of many treasures stood on the back of the red-crowned crane and looked at the battle outside the city that had completely entered a white-hot state. He could not help but frown deeply and said in surprise, "However, the demon soldiers under the demon emperor are really terrifying. Each of them is so unyielding. They actually all died by self-destruction. Even in death, they tried their best to drag a large number of demonic beasts down with them. Lunatics, they're all King lunatics. Why do I feel like I am in an ancient battlefield from the ancient times? Lunatics, just like in the ancient times. These demon clans are all King lunatics. Once they start killing, they don't even care about their lives." In his heart, he was extremely shocked. It was as if he had returned to the ancient times. Valiant, too valiant. Looking at the battle outside, even he was shocked. What a demon emperor! The god of death's eyes shone with a strange color. However, I'm afraid that the heavenly demon mystic realm will determine the outcome of this war. It actually pulled the demon emperor into the sky demon secret realm. It seems that there must be some terrifying killing move in the secret realm that can deal with him. The foundation of Shanghai is indeed extraordinary. Looking up at the sky demon in the air, Li Qingshan thought. He thought in his heart, in the demon city. Zhuge rushed into the jade pool from outside and quickly found Chun Shi, who was recuperating. She was in a pavilion, admiring the lotus in the pool. His every move was naturally graceful and luxurious. "Sister, it's not good." Zhuge had not arrived yet, but she had already shouted loudly. When Chun-Shi saw this, he shook his head slightly and said with a trace of doting, "Zhuge, didn't I tell you long ago that you must not panic when you are in trouble? Panic will never help you solve any problems. Only by always maintaining a calm heart can you find a ray of hope even in a hopeless situation. Why don't you understand?" As the demon empress, there was an indescribable calmness and wisdom in her. She took care of the entire demon city in an orderly manner. "Sister, this is a big matter." Zhu cried out in alarm. "Just now a large number of demon soldiers that entered the exiled land have returned. All of them died in the exiled land. I just asked, brother-in-law is currently fighting with the demon gods of the demon god continent. It's a bitter battle." "What?" Chun-Shi's heart was instantly stirred up. His brows were tightly knitted together. "I didn't expect Shanghai to make such a big move." After a pause, he said, "Zhu, don't worry. With your brother-in-law's ability, Shanghai may not be able to do anything to him. There's no need to be too anxious." Although she said that, deep worry emerged in her heart. She thought to herself, "It's a pity that I'm pregnant now and can't get away. Otherwise, I must stay with Shi Tian no matter what and share the joys and sorrows together." Clang! In the sky demon's secret realm, the bell of heaven's reincarnation instantly exploded with supreme power. As the bell rang, the domineering heaven's reincarnation sound spread violently in all directions. The void distorted violently, and then it collapsed and completely collapsed. Vaguely, countless worlds were annihilated and reborn in the sound waves. The endless reincarnation cycle formed a strange reincarnation vortex. If it was sucked in, it would be crushed into powder. Circle after circle, it rippled out continuously. It formed a terrifying reincarnation area. The demon's sword with the judgment will slashed over instantly. When it slashed into the reincarnation area, its sharp edge instantly cut in. However, it was as if it had entered swamp. Almost every inch it advanced required a large amount of energy. The terrifying reincarnation power was frantically eliminating the judgment contained in the demon's sword. However, the demon's sword was truly terrifying, although it was stopped by the sound waves. It slashed down heavily and collided violently with the ancient bell. Don't! The void where the ancient bell and the demon's sword collided collapsed on the spot. It instantly turned into powder. This slash caused the ancient bell to shake violently. Countless starlight flickered on the surface of the ancient bell, and the light on the ancient bell flickered. The bell rang continuously. It broke the demon's sword, but the ancient bell also dimmed a lot. "Lunatic D, I've already eaten that loach and controlled the sky demon. Let's attack together and kill this demon god. Suddenly, Ming's excited voice sounded in his ears. Di Shiyan's eyes lit up. His aura surged as he shouted coldly, Chia, I'll send you a bell. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chijian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.